It would probably be better if I hit the go live button, wouldn't it? Juan, I'm pretty sure you're the only person in here, I think. Although I can't tell how many people are in here, who's not in here. I can't see it on this side. I won't message you. What's up, Kelly? Oh, Dozer made it. What do you know? Dozer made it. Yeah, support the Canada truckers, man. We were supposed to do it down here like 7 or 8 months ago, but nobody shut down when everybody was talking about it. But it's kind of hard to get 5 American truckers to agree on one thing. What's up, T-Bone? Y'all got to check out T-Bone's channel, man. He's got a pretty cool channel. He does some pretty cool stuff over there. And he's a hell of a lot better at this YouTube thing than I am. Oh, you can hear me now? What are you cooking, Kelly? Good deal. I tried to cut out all the background noise, and I get close to this mic, and I got the gain turned all the way down because it'll pick up the refrigerator. If someone walks outside, it'll pick it up, so it's real sensitive. Some people have said when you speak, it's supposed to take your voice in and do whatever it does in there, and it comes out the other side. But I've tried recording at different distances, and for whatever reason, it doesn't work that well like that. It might in a soundproof room, but as y'all know, these trucks, they're not soundproof like that. Oh, come on, T-Bone. You got it down pat over there. Pop-Tart. Pop-Tart's got a pretty good channel, too. Well, Kelly, that sounds better than the dinner I had. I had a taco salad in Florida. You would think that they'd be good at making taco salads, but it was an epic fail. It really sucked. T-Bone says he don't know much. I hopped on one of his the other day. I think he had a head cam on or something. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Uh, I haven't even figured out how to do anything with separate cameras. Like this camera right here, it's wired to my laptop. Nothing I have is wireless. Everything's wired to it. When I get done, I'll take a picture and put it up. You'll see what I'm talking about. It literally looks like I turn my whole truck into a studio every time I do one of these. It's crazy. No, I'm good. I'm down here in Florida. I took a couple of days off down here. Got the truck worked on. Truck had some recalls. They took care of that. Did a PM on it. They put a little bit of grease on the fifth wheel. They act like they was scared too. So I don't know if maybe inflation or whatever got them scared to put a little grease on the fifth wheel, but they got it done. Hell no, I wouldn't go to Chicago on a regular day. I damn sure ain't going if there's a foot of snow on the ground. No, I'm just kidding. I would go to Chicago, but I don't like going. Uh, the snow would make me not want to go even more. We're at in Chicago, they want you to go. Oh, the weather down here is nice. It's 50 degrees tonight. I think it was in the 70s today. It's supposed to be up to 80 or 85 by Thursday or Friday. I run right down the road over here and pick up tomorrow about noon, and then it's going up to Georgia, up to the Atlanta area. And then from there, there's no telling. I could be going anywhere. Most likely, though, Pennsylvania. Yeah, I was going to get a GoPro, but I'm scared I'll spend the money on it and then not figure out the audio and all that stuff to it. My son was telling me when you hook a GoPro up when you're streaming it that it's a little bit more complicated than the way I got it, But I don't know. One of these days, maybe I'll get him to show me. He's better at it than I am. Oh man, the Grapevine in California, that's fun. Remember the first time I was out there, 1989, uh, crossing it. That was a lot of fun. I love that area out there, but I don't get to California very often. How's the weather out there on Grapevine? I had to go back and look at that message. Kelly said she's got a pair of glasses that got a video camera in the center. Yeah, I didn't even know they made them like that. Mr. Gadget was the last thing. Cartoon when I was a kid was the last thing I saw with anything like that. Where do you live at, T-Bone? You up in the Midwest or are you up in the, somewhere else, out northwest or whatever? Yeah, I know O'Hare area. That sucks, man. And what really sucks with all that snow, y'all are pretty good about cleaning up down there, but there's still the possibility you end up stuck down there. That's the part that would really bother me, especially whenever you get to be home every day. It sucks when you don't make it. Pop Tart. Uh, Actually, Nevada told me about this a while back. It's a StreamYard. You can pay for it. There's also a free side. This is the free side. It's limited though, but you can click on the comments and they'll come up on the screen. So like when you're answering somebody, you can click on it and put it up there. Uh, I don't know if you've been in James's lives, but he uses the same thing. James is a whole lot better at this though. He's able to answer everybody and go down through there, even with a bunch of people in there. I'm having a hard time keeping up with just a few, but I got ADD. That's always my go-to excuse. When I first started recording T-Bone, I did it with just my iPhone. Just this. Well, this is a new one. This is the 13. but I did it with the iPhone XR, and a lot of people were complaining that they couldn't hear me. That's why I went to getting audio, but I got a deep voice, but I'm pretty chill, Unless I get mad, I'm real chill. So some people were hearing me and some people weren't. So I started investing in different mics and different things like that. Y'all hear my refrigerator kick on? I just heard it in my headset. But I started investing in different mics and different things. And I mean, if I can get everything right, the audio comes out great. And I don't get any complaints on people hearing me. But with this Blue Yeti mic, it's got I got it on a function where it just picks up in the front part of the mic. It's not supposed to pick up the surrounding noise, but it still does. And it's got a mic gain on it, which is similar to our mic gain on the radio. You can adjust it. And I got it almost all the way down, because if I turn it up at all, it picks up. I mean, if a mosquito landed on my curtains back there right now, you'd hear it. It's really strange. But it's a really good mic, other than that. And it's not real expensive. You can pick up one of these Blue Yetis for about $100. Yeah, it's correct. StreamYard. You just click on them. Uh, it shows all the messages on the right, and then you can click on them and bring them up. Uh, I guess a lot of people use StreamYard. It seems to be pretty popular. It's pretty easy to use. I mean, you saw me, but then again, I was live, or I thought I was live for like 10 minutes. I was talking to myself, and then I saw the little button in the top that said go live. I thought I was already live when I saw myself on the screen. So y'all missed a lot of it. I was cussing and moving, and things were getting messed up. I had cords falling apart. You know, luckily y'all missed all that. What company are you going to work for, Kelly? Flying to Phoenix. Would assume either Swift or Legend. Those are two companies that I know about in Phoenix. Oh man, Michigan T-bone. I'm so sorry, man. Every time I go to Michigan, I'm scared I'm gonna lose a steer tire on y'all's roads. Uh, y'all got the hugest potholes. I used to think it was the worst, but Indiana's starting to catch up. They're starting to get there. Some places in Indiana are probably worse. But man, the winter time tears y'all's roads up pretty hardcore. Yes, congrats on the new job, Kelly. Oh, there's nobody can beat James Best when it comes to shock factors in a live. Um, I know he don't think he is, but he's right up there with with some of the best. You know, uh, and I think as time goes by and he tunes it in even more, I think he's going to get even better. His lives are awesome. I mean, he might go live 14 hours. I'll be driving and listening, but I probably listen to 6 or 7 hours of it sometimes. I mean, and I got ADD. It's hard to hold my attention for 6 or 7 hours. You know what I'm saying? T-Bone, I only got a few people in here. I'm probably running a half hour behind them. Uh, but yeah, but that's because he takes off. One of y'all say something in there and you get him fired up and he takes off with it, and you can't get him to stop. I mean, he's not going to chill. He goes with it until he runs out of whatever it is that he's saying. And then he starts going back to the comments once he starts calming down. But it makes for an awesome show. I mean, it's just absolutely awesome. I'm going to Georgia. I'm gonna be headed up to Georgia, and I'll deliver in Georgia tomorrow, and then I'll probably be headed to Pennsylvania from there. Cordova, that's what you call professional. You know, I'm a professional in drinking teas, but that man is on a level of perfection when it comes to drinking. And I usually will donate. I'll send him a little bit of money in his life because it gets him going. I like it, man. Especially if he's drinking fireballs. If you ever see him get them little fireballs out, it's over with. Give it about 6 hours. It's over with. What's up, Sasquatch? I'm good. How's things going with you, man? I've never heard of that mic. Is it a directional mic? Or is it, one of them kind of like this one? I think the directional mics are similar to what James Best uses. I believe that's a directional mic. Well, I had to get in there and look at that twice, Pop Tart. I didn't know. I hadn't seen that. I didn't know anybody was hanging off the tower. That's crazy. Martin Transport. Yeah. Um, I've heard good and bad things about them. I know their pay scale's on up there. It should be a decent company to go to work for. I've never worked there personally, so I don't know a lot about them. And I've heard some people say some good things about them. I believe it's refrigerated, though, isn't it? Yeah, Sasquatch, you always go quiet when you go home. You just flat disappear. Where were you living at before, T-Bone? I almost clicked the wrong button. Dang, I almost put Kelly in timeout. I didn't mean to. I was trying to show it. But Chicago, period, sucks. I go there, but it's high stress. I lost most of my hair in Chicago and New York City. Those two cities took my hair away. And Dallas. Of course, Dallas. I think Dallas has the worst drivers in the country. What's up, Dean Tech? How's it going? Dozer agreed with somebody. I'm assuming Kelly. You never know with Sasquatch. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I made a couple of videos about GP, but I don't know anything about them firsthand. All I know is what I've seen from the outside looking in. They might be a good company. It's just kind of the way they handled things. Just kind of it veered me away from it. But I said that too when I did my GP video. I was like, look, I ain't never worked there, so I can't say firsthand because I've never worked there. But just kind of some of the ways they handled things, kind of. hit me wrong. Oh, Dozer, you don't know what you're missing, man. That's normally when I turn it on and turn it up, and I get my headset turned all the way up. I try to be parked by the time he gets into that mode so that I can comment in there. I mean, that's the best part of the show, man. It's definitely entertaining. I don't know a lot about Cooper. I've only seen a couple of his videos, so I'm not too sure about Cooper. I don't know enough about him to speak on him. He's a driver. I support all drivers, so there's nothing, he's got my support there, as far as doing that. But I think the last video I looked at Cooper's, he was not driving anymore. He was talking about doing mechanic work, and he said something about continuing his YouTube, but he was going to continue it as a mechanic. Hey, you take care, Pop Tart. I appreciate you stopping by. What's up, man? I'm waiting on that email. Just shoot me an email, bro. How the hell do I do wrenches? Who in here would know how to do wrenches? T-Bone, how do you do wrenches in here? I'm hitting that little spark thing. Is that what does the wrenches? Man, he done forgot about the email. What the hell? Mm-mm-mm. Oh, right on, right on. Well, I'll figure it out eventually. I'll get it figured out eventually. It'll take me a little bit of time. It's got little stars beside y'all, and I can highlight the star. I don't know what that does, but I tried a couple of them to see what would happen. Uh, but as far as adding wrenches, I'll get it figured out one of these days. It might take me 20 years, but I'll get it figured out one of these days. What did hitting the stars do? I hit the stars. Did that do anything? Oh, that's right. The airline seat hookup. That's right. I got to order that thing, by the way. I took that other one out. Couldn't get it to stop leaking. I used a quarter tube of silicone and still couldn't get it to stop leaking. I jerked it out, put the quick connect back in it, I order one of them, and then when I go home in a couple of weeks, I'll get it and put it in. Maybe I'll make a video out of it or something. I didn't know about that quick connect air hose. That's a good hookup, Sasquatch. What's up, Shawn? Yeah, you just click on the little image thing, and you can add a picture from whatever you have saved. Turn that thing off. My old lady will burn me up if I don't answer like in 2 seconds. If I don't answer in 2 seconds, she thinks there's a lot lizard in the truck. Watch, she'll be calling me in a minute. Don't do that to me. There we go. .5G service ain't so 5G, is it? So, man, y'all keep that snow up there. Don't let it roll down south. I'm tired of this winter already. I'm so over this winter. When I first saw airline, I thought of airline tickets. That's how quickly my mind runs from one thing to another. I was like, order airline tickets on Amazon. I ain't never done that. What's up, Dozer? Hey, I figured
Hey,
this.
what's going on?
Oh, cool. I
Right?
can hear you. Yeah, yeah. There
Well,
you
I can
go.
hear you too.
Good deal.
We got an audience back there. I don't know if you can see her.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
I'm,
needed
I'm
another.
live with Snapper. What's that?
I needed another person in here to help because I'm so slow reading these messages.
Well, I don't know if I can get back to the actual live stream. I'm about as technically savvy as you are.
Right on. How's the weather over there in West Texas?
I'm in Central Texas, and we're bracing for bad weather.
Where'd he go? Dozer, what happened? I heard bad weather and then it ended. You can't do that to me. You can't tell me bad weather and then end it. Come on, man. All right, I appreciate it. Yeah, it sounds good, man. That'd be cool. Oh, here comes a professional.
I don't want an old snapper. It's
What's
good to
going
see
on,
other.
Shawn?
It's good to see other drivers starting to do this. I'm still in the learning process too. There's just a lot to learn. You'll eventually catch on to certain things. It just takes a while.
You got a
Uh,
good mic there. What is that?
oh, it's a Yeti. It's
That's
about
a,
$150. You can get them at
uh,
Best Buy.
oh, you got the more expensive one. I got the $100 Yeti.
Yeah, you sound great on it. Yeah,
Oh, good deal.
if it's working good, I'd stay with it.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
worried about the vibration in the truck messing up when I got it stored away, but so far it's held up.
yeah, if you got a good secured area, strap everything down or got cabinets or whatever. Yeah, when I'm on the road, I got the same thing. Sometimes I got good 5G, and sometimes it all depends on where you are. But the bad weather is all the way from Dallas all the way to North Maine. This is a nasty big ass storm we're going to get hit by. I'm lucky I'm stuck in Springfield. I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow.
Oh man. Yeah, I hadn't even looked at the weather yet. I got to head up. I'm in Florida. I got to head up to Georgia tomorrow. But
The further north, the worse it's going to be.
yeah, I'm ready for this winter to end. I don't know about y'all.
And
It's over
Groundhog
this
Day is
winter.
tomorrow. That's going to be ironic. And Pennsylvania is going to get a foot of snow tonight, and they're going to have to pull that groundhog out of the hole tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't even think we need that ground. Pretty sure we all know it. We got a winter.
Yeah, well, I've been there a couple of times, and every year they boo the damn thing. You got people dressed in these suits and top hats, and they're smiling, holding up the ground, and hundreds of people are booing. They never cheer. Well, hell, if you're in Green Bay and they're used to it, they get hit all the time. Yeah, there's only a few drivers that do live streaming, and I mostly hang out with Filipinas and a couple of drivers from Canada.
I've checked a few of them out. Um, Obviously, I've caught his. Um, he leads a couple of his. I've checked them out. It's interesting, but I like being able. I wanted to be able to get everybody back and forth a little bit, but I'm definitely slow at it.
Yeah, they're projecting it ain't going to hit no farther south than Atlanta. Atlanta may get it a little bit, but it's hit or miss on that one. Because I remember last year, the only way you could drive along the 475 around Atlanta, or 485 around Atlanta, or 285 around Atlanta. The only way you could do that is if you chained up, and everybody abandoned their cars and everything. It was really bad.
That's another profession.
Yeah, I don't sling iron. I don't even have it anymore. I got the auto socks. And if it's that bad, I'd just like screw it. I just shut down.
They came out with the names, but I haven't seen anybody with them yet.
Yeah, they mostly sell them all sizes at the Sap Brothers, and you have to get 3 of them for 3 axles, and you're good. Weighs only about 20 pounds. I'm gonna wait till he comes back, fellas, so he don't lose his live stream. I don't know who joined the panel, but how you doing, man?
What's up, man? It's Tebow.
Yeah, I mean, there's not many drivers that do live streaming, and it's great to see some more. I caught this one. I subbed him from, I think, Big Rig. He's got a big channel. Ah, there we go. Now we got our host.
There.
What's happening, brother?
Not much, man.
Yeah, Snapper, I think I subbed you from Big Rig. He's doing a live right now, too. I think that's where I got a subbed you there.
Right on. He's got a pretty good channel. I've been watching that Gentry. The Gentry's pretty. I just got turned on to him the other day.
Well, yeah, man, it's good to share information on a daily basis. Like, you don't want to go here unless you're going to face this weather.
Who?
Yeah.
Who's
I'm
that in
ready.
the middle there? Who we got?
That's Shawn.
Yep.
All right, right on, right on. Yeah,
I
had to be home I had to be home to take the missus to a doctor's appointment. And we're supposed to get like 6 to 18 inches tonight. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just stay at the house for a few more days.
Holy shit. Where you at?
I'm in Michigan.
Oh, yeah. You're going to get that lake effect. You're going to get worse.
That gets pretty bad. I think Juan was saying
Yeah, totally,
Chicago's expecting a foot.
Yeah, in early December, I was up in Seattle, and I picked up my load in Yakima, and I had to take it to Pennsylvania. But the only way to get back east was to go all the way down to I-40, go through, Idaho and Utah and Idaho and over Soldier Pass and Doubles Highway. That was the only way to get back east because 90, 80, and 70 were all shut down because the weather was so bad. I didn't get home for Christmas, and I was supposed to be. I didn't get home till the 28th.
Yeah, there's no supercharger. I got rid of my fingerless gloves a long time ago.
Nah, I didn't. I done kicked off the boots and got some flip flops.
No, I'm not a super trucker. I mean, I just want to survive. That's all. With the rate everything goes, y'all know it.
Yep.
You survived the day. You did good.
Nah,
That's all right.
I ain't been doing it that long, but I come up in a time where people help each other out and show courtesy, So,
Oh yeah, back in I rode with my father. My father he was the golden era of trucking. I remember riding with him.
It was a lot different.
There was no sleepers back then. If you had one, it was a luxury, and it was just barely enough for you to lay in. And if you had a cab over, you slept better on the doghouse than you did in the bunk.
Yeah, you remember Shawn used to lay a piece of board across the front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was probably worse. Part of them cab overs it was probably worse trying to get in the bunk, climbing over that doghouse, than to just be in the bunk.
Yeah, but it was uncomfortable. That's why I slept on the doghouse.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, whatever way you climbed in was the way you stayed. You had to stay however you were in it.
Yeah, you stuck.
Yeah, so if you wanted to sleep on your back, you had to crawl in on your back. There wasn't much to it. We used to keep a board up front behind the seats and lay it across the seats to sleep on.
Do any of you have Sirius XM radio on your truck?
I do.
Do you listen to Road Dog on 146?
Man, I used to every now and then. I you know what? To be honest with you, I've got it in there, and I don't even hardly listen to the damn thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
usually
you get good information.
Got the headset.
They give you national weather reports, and they're accurate. Or accidents.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good station to listen to.
Yeah. Honestly, when I'm rolling, I'm like, old snapper there, usually OTJB's live or something, so I'm listening to him while I'm running down the road.
Well, yeah, they used to have the Truck and Bozo, and you can call in, and talk to the hosts during the show. It's really cool.
Yeah, I've heard. I used to have XM, and I used to listen to him.
Somebody asked Somebody asked if it was true that socks are one-time use. They can be.
Yeah, if you don't take care of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've got in my truck because I don't want to carry chains. But honestly, if I need them, I ain't putting them on. I'm just going to park it.
Yeah. I mean, because by law, we have to have them. I'd rather carry around 20-pound bags of auto socks, which they totally weigh 20 pounds, than 500 pounds of chains.
Yeah, for sure. What it is, Nevada?
Chains can be one-time use, too, if you don't take care of them. What's up, Nevada?
Yeah, I remember one time I went to go use them. I opened my bag up. They were like 2 years old, and it was just a clump of rust. I'm like, well, these are useless.
time I ever threw chains on. 6, 2 left. I lost the other ones.
Yeah. If you
Think
use
about
your auto
chains,
socks, oh, I'm sorry. If you use your auto
you're
sock
good, man.
and
I've
you
got
fold
enough.
them up and put them back in the bag, but you got to dry them off. You know, when you dry them off, you fold them up, put them back in the bag. They're still good. I mean, I'd say you could use them at least 3 or 4 times before they get ratty. Because I can see them getting mildewed if you don't dry them
with
up.
chains. Yeah, I was gonna say even with chains, they're designed more to get you out of a situation than to run, through the snow for hundreds of miles.
But they're like $250 each, and you need 3.
Brandon, I'm not. I'll have to research that. I'm not sure. He said socks aren't aren't legal anymore in Colorado. Now, last I knew, I think it was the Auto Sock brand was the only one that was legal in 48 states.
Yeah, that's what they sell at the Sap Brothers. Because I got mine in Colorado, Sap Brothers. They said they're legal.
Yeah,
there's some companies that's all they run.
Yeah, that's all my old company ran. Not GP, a different company, but like I said, that Auto Sock brand is the only one that was legal in 48. There's other knockoff versions of it that's
412.
legal.
Yeah, it's a bit steep for the price, but if you don't use them and you got them, I'd rather tote around, like I said, 20 pounds than 500 pounds. You know.
The first time you throw out that sciatic nerve trying to throw on some chains, you want some socks.
There you go.
That's correct, Nevada.
Yep.
Companies out here, that's all they run is those socks. Here we run, but I wish we ran socks.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Mike, did you dry them before you put them away? Because they'll get moldy or whatever. Just like your laundry, it's made of cloth. You gotta dry them out or lay them out where they dry out, and then fold them back up before you put them away.
Luckily, that truck I've got now, it had a set of them in there when I got in it, and I was like, "Oh, sweet! I ain't gonna buy none. I ain't gotta get chained."
I used to run flatbed, but it doesn't pay like it used to, so I got out of it.
Yeah,
like, screw it. I'll just open the doors and back in.
Yeah, flatbed don't pay near as good as it used to. I make more money actually now doing dry box than the flatbedders. It's kind of sad.
And the hazmat don't pay like it used to either.
Hazmat for that one reason right there. Worth all the extra work for next to nothing.
Yeah, Brandon, I'll look it up just to be sure, but I hadn't heard it, but don't mean it's not true.
Yeah, see, T-Bone's real good at staying on top of the messages, boy. I'm trying to catch up with him. A hardcore door swinger too now.
Hell yeah, I swing them both.
Yeah, it beats the hell out of throwing a tarp and chaining and strapping and not only that, but flatbed you got ways to get a ticket. They can look at your load riding down the road, and I mean they're just it's the easiest one for them to attack is a flatbedder.
Yeah, and it goes on your record too. If something comes off and hits somebody or kills somebody, that's involuntary manslaughter. Screw that.
Yeah, and every time you stop, you're taking that load.
That was kind of my look. I don't like getting out in the nasty weather to shut and open the doors, much less tarping a load.
Yeah, it sucks, especially when the wind's blowing, and that tarp gets away from you, and you got to go catch it, roll it back up, get it back over to the trailer, get it back up on top of the load. Yeah, it's a pain.
Or it lifts you off the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you learn real quick, let it go.
I've heard too many stories of people falling off the top or wherever trying to hold on to that tarp too.
Yeah, you learn real quick to let that thing go. It's a parachute. It'll take you.
$412. That's 1,200. Ain't terrible for a rookie, man.
Yeah, especially going through Wyoming, man. You stop at that TA or the Sap Brothers there in Cheyenne. You're in the fuel island, and the wind is so hard, man. You feel like it's going to blow your pants off. I seen it yank a lady out of her truck. She opened the door. She wouldn't let go of the door, and it yanked her right out of the truck.
I saw a guy break his cheekbone or comes up around his cheek with a pair of them snap binders. He had that, deal in there wrong. We were unloading coils in Asheville. That snap binder deal come loose and caught him right up here. Flatbed's got a whole bunch of, it's a whole nother world of crap to worry about.
Yeah. The ones I hated was the pipes and the wood, the 2x4s. Well, where they frame a house or a building, whatever, with wood, and they didn't tarp it and they just strapped it down because around the edges it won't move, but some in the middle that get loose, they can just start coming out like this. You got your load and all of a sudden it's coming to start to stick out. I've seen some lose their boards and splinter all over the highway. I'm like, shit, man, stop.
Or when they stack that wood up there, and then when you tarp it, you got to remember where the holes are because they'll stack it in there with spaces in between them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, I'm gonna jump out of here. I just figured I'd jump in and say something about that weather, but I think I got beat to it. It's all good.
Hey, man, I appreciate you stopping by, T-Bone. I need all the help I can get.
Wait a minute, Nevada.
Nice meeting you, T-Bone.
Nevada, you still home, buddy?
Yeah, man. That gasket is on back order, so I'm trying to source one. But these are legal in all 48 states.
Yep, that's what I got at the Sap Brothers.
So
that's the one.
Yeah.
You're required to carry them. So
the
if you don't ever chain, I still carry a couple bags of iron, but you can run those. Colorado, all the states. So I can't find it anywhere where it says it's illegal. Every article I found that I just looked up real quick says they're all legal.
Look at me. I'm asking him if he's still home. He's like, no, I sheetrocked the inside of my truck. Look at the seal.
Yeah, he taped and loaded it the whole 9 yards. Look at it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Comes with its own water heater.
There you go.
Let me ask you, old snapper, what part of Texas are you from? What's a good area out there? Because home prices here are ridiculous, man.
Well, we got a lot of Californians coming out there, so it's been running it up. I live down in Port Connor, right? I live in a boating community, actually. I'm the only truck driver within about 100 miles, probably. But prices down there where I'm at, they range, 40 to $250,000, just depending on what you're looking for.
I got friends that live along the Gulf and south of Texas. That's a good area. I don't know what the home prices are, but I heard that was a real good live down there.
South Louisiana is supposed to be a really, really inexpensive place to go. South of I-10.
I don't know if I
But the freight down there is not real good.
Oh, once the gators start crawling in the water, I'm not interested.
Well, where I live, we don't so much have the gators, but we got the cartels and 3,000 pounds of marijuana coming across every day,
I don't care about that. You give me a thick enough envelope, I don't even ask what's in the back.
I don't want to have to try to explain it's not fine, and with my record, they're not going to believe me. You're taking
I'm doing what?
I thought you were taking all of February off.
Well, yeah, it's kind of dependent on my truck, but based on what the dealership just got back to me, it's been over there for 6 days now, and they just got to me and said, yeah, that gasket's on back order. So I got a gear gasket timing leak, and I just reached out to my guy over there and said, hey, give me the part number because I'm going to try and source one. because
I know in
they're gonna wait till it comes back on stock and then order it. So my truck could be sitting there for 3-4 months at that rate.
I'm looking at the chat at 412. Fort Wayne, outside of Fort Wayne, isn't bad at all. I live an hour and a half from there. I live just in Ohio there by Richmond, Indiana. Small farm towns, which are nice.
Well, I like Fredericksburg, but there ain't nothing for sale in Fredericksburg. It's like a little German part of Texas. It's beautiful though.
Probably expensive.
Yeah.
Yes, it's bougie.
A lot of the Californians.
That's my style. I like nice.
A lot of the Californians that are coming, they've been going to Dallas and Austin, so they've ran the prices up around Dallas and Austin through the roof. It's extremely expensive in those areas. The rest of the state isn't too bad, you know.
Yeah, I'm finding like estates in my price range, but I can get an estate out there with like a rolling driveway and trees and acreage.
If you want to get away from a lot of people, you don't want to live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area or Austin or something like that. Western Texas is a good barren place to live, away from people.
Yeah, it's $99 an acre out there, but it's not real bougie, so I don't think he's going to like it. I live at kind of bougie. Port O'Connor is upper class, middle to upper class area.
I'm halfway tempted to just go out here and buy a manufactured home for a couple $100,000 and let this market kind of figure itself out.
I think it's going to crash.
Yeah, that's why I
think it's going to crash.
That's why I want to spend $600,000 on this house with the lake view and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, it's nice and that's what I want. But
I've been telling people to get out of cryptocurrency too.
I'm riding the wave on that one. Call it a crypto winter.
Yeah, well, Christmas it was at 50,000. Now it's down to 38.
I think it's going to crash before the end of this year.
Because the only way it's keeping its value right now is until them hedge fund managers sell, and then that's when it's going to bottom out.
Tolga, if you came to the States, I don't like income tax, so I look at South Dakota, Nevada, Texas, Washington, Florida. Those are all non-income tax states. That's just me, though. The only one out of that group that doesn't have good gun laws is Washington. But, I mean, California is probably the most beautiful state, but it's also way overtaxed and too much regulation, so I wouldn't recommend that. But Utah is beautiful, and they got low taxes. Arizona is affordable, and they have good laws.
Tennessee's got pretty low taxes as well. I can't believe T-Bone brought that Alabama hat. Look, check. Oh.
Yeah. Just so you know, there's a big difference, Tolga, between West Coast and East Coast. Like, once you're east of the Rockies, you get a bunch of plains in the Midwest, and then you get out east, it's going to be the sticks, and then out west, it's going to be the desert. Then northwest, you're talking like, super green Canadian style kind of shit going on.
Yeah, there's not any state tax in Tennessee. Whoever was talking about that.
Yeah, Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee's just too far east for me.
House for sale. House for sale up the road, Nevada. Come on.
It snows there, so it ain't my cup of tea.
We're only getting like 6 to 18 inches tonight.
T-Bone, anytime you live in a state, you got to have a snow pusher in your garage. You're way too far north.
Yep.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, anytime you got a snow pusher in the garage, you're way too far north.
Your house is nice, though. Yeah, I like the place you got.
It is nice. See if I can give you kind of a sneak peek out there.
Yeah, wrap around porch. Look at y'all bougie and shit.
See that
safe for you around
on the ground now?
Is it safe for you around there wearing that Alabama?
Heck yeah. I mean, Saban came from up here. He was in Michigan State.
The A is for effort. Nope, everyone just looks past it. They're like, oh yeah, it's the Los Angeles Angels. Don't fuck with that guy.
Yeah, I commented on one of his videos the other day. I said, stopping by to show some support. I'm going to show you some support even though you're wearing that Alabama beanie. I still got you.
I thought that was you. Yeah, that's why I put it on. I thought that was you that put that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do need to make a move though. I paid my first month-to-month rent here, $2,500. It's ridiculous.
It's more
I'm in a
than my mortgage.
condo. I live in
I
a
know.
condo and pay less than that.
Well, you live in a
Me
condo.
and my
I live in a 3-2 house, but still, that's way too high for rent. I'm renting. I don't own this
There
shit.
you go. Hey, Snapper, highlight Brandon Bearden's comment. He's got a good comment there.
Oh, you got to be kidding me! Come on, now. That man's lost.
Yeah,
It's got to
Nevada's
be, ain't
seen
it?
Nevada's seen the house. It's pretty nice. I got a little bit of property here. I got to clean out some woods, park the truck, work on a garage, man garage out there.
What's up, Southbound? You got the regulars from all the other groups coming in here. Good old Snapper gonna be holding it down.
Me and my girl live in a condo now. It's not no high rise deal, but it's a couple, and it's under $1,000 a month. You know,
Yeah.
so that's
I
quite
Yeah,
know.
the
a
last
lot.
house was under $1,000.
I got a pack of
This one's not
dogs,
so
so
much.
I need a little bit of. I need a yard.
Yeah, we
I
just
heard
have that
that.
one German Shepherd. We need a pack of dogs for out there. Is getting that bad?
Keep the coyotes away.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. You're probably right. At least you don't have to have. At least you don't have to have a snow plow in your garage. You know, I feel bad for T-Bone now. I'm gonna have to go get his stuff more. I'm feeling kind of bad for him. We have to get him out
Hey,
of
you
that
know what?
area. He's
You know what? To be honest, haven't even used that plow yet.
by the sounds of it,
tractor's
you're
got
gonna
all
need
that.
it tomorrow.
Yeah, that's why you see the truck over there and the plow right there, just in case. Wife's car's outside. We can dig it out.
Yeah, man. I get up. I barely want to get in the front seat, walk around, and check my lights. I don't want to go dig anything out.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a better comment.
Yeah. Oh, was that A&M? Who's that? What's A&M?
Mhm. Get out of here! Come on. Now.
Toga, let me refresh my wine.
You making your own hooch over there or what?
Oh, you went big time, huh?
Oh no, not at all. Not at
Hey,
all.
Nevada, somebody asked him, told him earlier to pass out wrenches. He can't do that from StreamYard, can he?
No, but open up your phone right now, and then do it. Pull up your own live, and that's how you can do it. So if you pull up your phone, go to your live stream, and then click on T-Bone, and then click Add Moderator, or whoever you want to give out wrenches to.
I was gonna say if he wants to, that ain't got nothing.
You can't do it from
I
StreamYard.
just couldn't remember how to do it.
Yeah. But if you
since I've only gone live once, I wasn't real sure.
turn the volume down, or you'll get an echo. But that's also a good way to. That's a good way to check your audio real quick too. Turn it up, say a few things. If you're hearing it good on the phone, then you're coming through on this end.
I didn't even know your truck was down, man.
Well, it's had that gear gasket leak since 87,000 miles. I ran it until it became active. It became active on the way out to the Bronx on that load. So I turned around, took the truck home.
Gotcha.
And they looked at it real quick because I got some connections over there. And he's like, yeah, man, it's leaking all the way around. It's going to need a new seal. But they just got back to me today stating that it's on back order and there's no estimated ship date. So I asked for a part number. As soon as I get that, I'm going to start doing some digging.
You know what OTJB is going to tell you about that,
right? What's that one place? Ohio Truck Sales. I should have went there or some shit.
He'll probably tell you should have bought a 680.
I know what he's not going to tell you. He's not going to send you that pier you went to losing $50.
It would be the same seal. It's the same motor in his truck as mine.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that he's got an issue with his as well on his truck. So
I gotta get my APU serviced. Actually, I gotta get the truck serviced too, but won't be tomorrow.
yeah, it reminds me of APU.
At least you got an APU. We run Opti out of there being an APU.
Hey,
fun in the winter.
Snapper, that guy I told you was having some issues with Crete. He talked to him and they worked stuff out and got him set up on a good deal.
Yeah, Crete's all right, man. I mean, for a company, it's pretty good. Owner operator though, not so much.
Well, they were going to put him on one of their quote unquote dedicated runs, and that never happened. I mean, just basically told him a bunch of stuff to get him there, and then it wasn't anything what he was supposed to be. But they've got him straightened out.
Right. That's that recruiting for you, man. To get you in there. It's that's why I try to talk to them guys straight up. And a lot of times, way I can, cater fleets don't even pay that well. And
yeah, he runs out of Houston, so they've got him on like a Texas dedicated now or something.
Oh, Mid-South.
I'll send you some more.
What's up, Martin?
Well, I'm gonna hop off here, guys. I'm gonna keep going back to my house hunt, but I'll be listening in the background.
All right, man.
Yeah,
Thanks
I'm
for
listening. Tell
a little
Miss
support
Nevada,
old Snapper over here. You ought to get James.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send this over to James Best, see if we can get some entertainment in here.
Oh my God, man!
I'm gonna tell him to crash the party.
Oh my God, man! Yeah, there's no one can run a live like James, man. James gets in there, it's gone. It's over with.
You gotta watch yourself.
Yeah, good luck with your house hunting there, Nevada. I appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah. T-Bone, take it easy.
Yeah.
Gentleman up here.
Later,
I've
man.
seen him around somewhere. I can't. Some subscriber or something like subscribe to my channel. I've seen him over in hers. So later, guys.
Snapper, I'm about to give you some of your bandwidth back, but I'll be listening.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I need all the help I can get. I'm not the greatest at this.
Yeah.
I appreciate you stopping by. And I appreciate you popping in there and keeping it going, man.
You guys be safe and roll tide.
I don't know about the roll tide part, but good luck tomorrow pushing that plow down there.
Hook 'em.
All right, see you, man.
All right, see you
later. You're gonna need that tide to push that snow plow out tomorrow morning.
Right. Tell them hook 'em horns.
Horns are good, but I'm an A&M.
Or what's the A&M?
Gig 'em.
Gig 'em. That's what I was thinking. Gig 'em.
Yeah, T-Bone is a cool dude, man. Cool dude. He's got a good channel over there too. I'll get these wrenches figured out also here little by little. I thought I'd given out more wrenches than that.
Now how do I see the live chat?
I don't know. On this stream card, I have it off to the right. Also got it brought up on.
Because see on my end, all I see is the three of us that are on.
Yeah, I don't know what y'all see on y'all's end. That might be all that pops up. I don't know if y'all can see the live chat. I think Nevada and them were looking at it, so. So I'm sure there is a way. Good deal. You working tomorrow, Dozer?
Yeah, I am. I got 2 runs. I'm going up to Itasca, do a drop trailer, and then I'll come back and go to Dublin and Dublin. 2 drops in Dublin.
Click the screen, then click comments.
Click the screen. It's in my jacket pocket. I don't see the screen. See where it says chat, but that lets me chat.
Yeah, he said there should be a tab that says comments or chat. One says private, and one says other comments.
Yeah. Now I see it. It looks different than like if I'm viewing it from like the YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it on y'all's end. T-Bone said there should be a tab that says comments or chat.
Mm-hmm.
One
It says
says-
private chat
one-
comments. Yeah.
Yeah, so that should get you to it right there.
Yeah, I see them now.
There you go. Yeah, so there had to be a way for them to see it because they were seeing them faster than I was.
Right.
I think I'm all caught up here. I guess Shawn's on an important phone.
Yeah. Who is that in the middle? Snapper.
That's Shawn. That's Shawn.
Truck. Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's Shawn. No, I see Cordova made it back.
Yep. Guess he's
Anyway.
not working tomorrow.
No, they're gonna get a foot of snow. They're expecting between where he's at in Chicago, so I doubt he's gonna do that tomorrow. But you never know.
Right.
You know, might get T-Bone out there with a snow plow to clear the highway for him.
right.
You know, I wouldn't run it, but that's just me. I'd be taking the day off. I'd call a vacation day myself.
I heard that. Yeah, we're not really sure what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to get tomorrow night's when it's supposed to turn nasty. So we're not sure if we're working or.
Yeah, I don't pick up till noon tomorrow, so I got plenty of time.
Oh yeah, and you're not really going into the nasty part of it.
No, the little 400-mile run, it really got far.
Oh shit, that you do 400 miles where you get your first cup of tea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hold on here. Let's see where this thing's going. Yeah, I'm picking up forestry products over here in DeLand, and it's going to Adairsville, Georgia. So, yeah,
Oh, okay.
485 miles. Yep, 485
Oh
miles.
shit, that's hardly anything.
Yeah, it ain't nothing to it, man. I'll get that one delivered and hopefully go get another one and get on my way somewhere.
Right.
Hang on a minute there, one. Man, when I was going to school, we didn't have nothing but typewriters. Come a long way to get
I know,
this
right?
little setup here,
Yeah.
man.
Right.
There you go, one. Let's see if it popped up. Usually it's Elk Mountain that gets messed up, Brandon. Normally. Cheyenne, you drop down in the valley a little bit going into Cheyenne. Once you get past that Walmart, you're normally pretty good. A little bit of ice, though, sometimes. Did you get that link, Juan? Damn, my cigarette done burned up. That's why them guys smoke them cigars on here, man.
Right?
Burn
They last longer.
Yeah, they don't burn up so fast, man. You get 3 things going on, and you forget you got that cigarette, and that cigarette done burned up.
Right.
Yeah, Juan had asked for the link, shot him the link, but I don't know. Maybe he got lost somewhere in translation. Hopefully Nevada gets him something going pretty soon. I know he was looking for settling down, getting a house.
Right.
And prices are through the roof right now.
Oh yeah, everywhere.
But I really think it'll crash. I think it'll crash before the end of this year. Probably this summer. I think that's going to drop the prices down quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it's all going crazy.
Yeah, Brandon, once you get south of I-40, you should be pretty good. We might even cross paths. Oh, there's Juan.
What's going on?
You there. Look, you there.
What's going down, homeboys?
What's going
Not
on, Juan?
much.
Yeah, same here, man. Thought I'd come outside and smoke a cigarette and say what's up.
Right on. I'm gonna go do the same. You wanna come smoke with me?
Hell yeah. It's a little chilly out here, though.
It looks like it's cold where you're at. I don't even. Yeah,
A little bit.
it looks like it's cold there.
Fuck, he's all bundled up now. Thank you.
Shit, yeah. Man, did you go back inside?
Oh, we'll do what?
Or Dozer go back inside?
No, I'm going outside.
Oh,
No, he's going outside.
yeah, I'm on my phone.
Brandon, you running
Yeah, me too.
Dropbox or Reefer or what? You're just running Atlanta to Salt Lake. I'd assume Reefer. What are you running? What are you running, Brandon? You gonna make that run tomorrow, Juan, or you gonna say the hell with it and take a vacation?
Shit, I don't know, man. I'm gonna get up at regular time and just look at the roads and see how I feel in the morning. I don't know. I was down there last Monday. It was only 3 inches of snow, and it took me an extra 2 hours to get to my first stop. So tomorrow it'll probably take me twice that.
Excuse me.
I wouldn't want to get stuck down there.
Yeah, no shit. I got Thursday and Friday off, so I don't want to fuck that up either.
Right.
I thought you were off on the weekends, man.
Yeah, I do, but I took some days off. It's my wife's birthday Friday.
4-day weekend. There ain't
You
nothing
got-
wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Am
you
I
got
per-
in trouble last time.
Yeah, I got my ass chewed last time. Last time this year, on her birthday, I got stranded in fucking Minnesota. I got snowed in up there. Fuck those plans up.
Yeah, well, if there's any state that'll mess some plans up, it's Minnesota.
Yeah, that ain't no
Fuck.
shit.
No shit. I was coming back with an empty trailer, man. The tires are just spinning, bro. That was at stoplights and the tires were just spinning. It was
Oh,
I could-
that shit. That.
that automatic's
That shit.
terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like
Last
an
year-
automatic in the snow.
No, not even.
Last
Yeah.
year I was coming back from San Angelo and I was on ice and I turned my engine brake way down.
Yeah.
And every time I let up the gas, I've got a single axle, so
Okay.
they get real squirrely. And I let up the gas and I couldn't figure out why I kept getting all squirrely on me. And I looked down and I still have my Jake brake on. I turned that motherfucker off quick.
I don't even use that Jake brake in bad weather. I rarely
I-
even use it whenever it's raining.
No,
I
I
hadn't
learned.
heard
It's roads start getting wet. Those those single axles, they.
I hadn't heard anything about that, Martin. I hadn't heard anything about that at all. Brandon's going to be coming across there. He should be. He'll be coming across Indiana.
Yeah, I heard
It
about
is.
that on the news. I seen that on the news where they're gonna They're shutting everybody down. If they catch any trucks on the road, they're going to pull them over and put them out of service.
Is that just
Yeah.
tomorrow?
Yeah, I think so. Tomorrow and the next day, I think.
Well, Brandon, you might want to keep a heads up on that. 'Cause you'll be coming through Indiana, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'd probably shut it down if you can.
Costco ain't a bad place to deliver either, man. That's where they open their doors up for you. All you got to do is just hit the dock.
Fuck.
Well, Asian Maya, he pretty well stays on top of the news. So, you know, if that's what he said, he's probably right. Asian Maya pretty well stays on top of the news.
Yeah, Asian Mike, he pretty much keeps us informed.
Yeah, so T-Bone's saying 7 a.m. tomorrow through 7 p.m. on Thursday. You know, and being 7 p.m. on Thursday, they'll probably extend that.
Damn it.
You know,
Right.
probably extend it till Friday morning.
Yeah, they were saying on the weather forecast here that north of I-20 is supposed to get nasty, but it's supposed to move south.
Right on.
I don't know. I heard that south of 88 in Illinois, that's where it's supposed to start getting really bad down there. So if anybody's down that way, look out.
Right.
Y'all making me not want to leave Florida, man. I'm about to tell them fools I ain't going nowhere. Maybe another couple days, man.
Right. It'll be your luck they'll send you to Illinois, right?
Yeah, I'm only taking loads from Atlanta to Miami and back and forth. That's it. Not doing anything else. Run I-10 corridor between Houston and here or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking if I do go to Illinois, I'll probably take the back way in. And then I'll only have to deal with the main roads on the way back.
You got it,
But I
Mark.
don't know. I don't know if that's going to be good or bad, though.
Yeah, Wisconsin's usually pretty good at staying on top of it, you know. But a foot of snow is quite a bit of snow to try to stay on top of.
Yeah, Wisconsin's not supposed to get any snow. Illinois, Chicago area is where it's going to be hit.
What's going on, Shawn? You back?
Yeah, I had a phone call, fellas.
Yeah, I told the other guys you were buying a couple trucks.
I wish. I mean, I own my truck. My next truck, if I buy one, I'm going to get that Mack Anthem.
Yeah, that's a nice truck.
Yeah, I got a Pete 579. I bought it and got the title in October.
Where'd you get it from? Did you buy it on your own or buy it through a company or what?
I got it through Prime.
Good deal. Good deal.
I mean, very few people will do well. It depends on you. I tell these guys, I said, if you stay out, yeah, you're going to make good money. If you keep going home, that's going to put a damper on that. But you stay out, your social life's going to suck ass.
Yeah, I know shit.
We're truck drivers, man. We ain't got much of a social life anyway.
Yeah, whether you're over the road or a fucking local guy, same shit. 12
That's
hours
why-
a day.
I know half of the Ohio DOT on the western side of Ohio because some of them go to school with my kids, and I get along with them great. And I said, we should because truckers and the DOT have something in common. Everybody hates us.
Yeah, I gave Nevada a ranch. I did do that. But yeah, Prime, I don't know a whole lot about. I never worked there. I did lease at Stevens probably 13, 14 years ago.
And you probably knew my cousin.
A lot of guys were jumping from there. They were going to Prime, but when I left there, I didn't go to Prime. But a lot of guys I knew did.
Yeah, my cousin Billy drives for Stevens. He's retiring probably in the next 4 years. He married a Filipina about 20 years ago, and they go back and forth. He's more of a seasonal driver. They'll be back, during the spring and summer, but in the fall and winter they go back to the Philippines.
Yeah, right on. I worked at Stevens for 4 years. That's where I spent my first 4 years in the industry there. But a lot of guys, man, I still see on YouTube a lot of guys run from Stevens. They go over to Prime.
I mean, Prime isn't perfect. You know, it works for some people. All I know is it doesn't pay like it did in the golden era. You know, like my father was forced to retire in '99. He was driving for ABF, and he was getting paid $1.28 a mile, and he was home every other day and on the weekends. He was bringing in good money then. Well, that's a Teamster job too.
Yeah, there ain't too many Teamster jobs left today.
I think YRC and ABF are about the only Teamsters. You know,
Isn't
unionized.
Old Dominion's
Nevada.
Teamsters too, ain't it?
Oh, they are. I wasn't sure if they were or not.
I think they are. I'm not 100% positive, but I think they are. I know they pay their drivers pretty well. I knew a guy that worked over there. He did pretty well. And he was home every, I think, 3 days or something like that. You know, he basically come out of Georgia, run the county, run team, and then run back.
Yeah, my dad would run out of Huber Heights, Ohio, and he'd have a choice. He could either go to like Port Huron or Du Bois, Pennsylvania, or Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Those were usually his routes. He'd go there, and then he'd come back home.
Did you find what you're looking for?
Yeah, Old Dominion's supposed to be a pretty decent company from what I understand. But I've heard guys that run their, not the doubles, but run the straight 53s. And those guys don't seem to be happy. But the guys running doubles, doing that LTL, they seem pretty happy over there. Y'all get paid percentage over there at Prime, don't you?
I'm sorry?
You get paid percentage over there at Prime, don't you?
No, we get paid by the load. I'm on the logistical side. Once you get your truck paid off, you can move to the logistical side. You get paid by the load. And it varies. Some loads will pay over $3 a mile, and then sometimes you'll get one that only pays $1.20.
Damn, T-Bone said he should have timed out Nevada before Nevada got arrested. You been at Prime this whole time, or did you work for somebody else, Shawn?
No, I finished college. I had a regular job. I was trying to get up through the corporate ladder. I wasn't going anywhere, and my father didn't want me nor my brother to drive a truck for a living. I'm like, well, shit, that's where the money's at. And when I came to Prime, I already knew everything. I tested out the second day, and they're like, you just got here. You didn't even go out with your trainer. I'm like, yeah, so? They threw away my test and made me go out. I'm like, well, I already know this. I can go out TNT now. I don't have to do the PSD crap. Like, how do you know all this? My father, I was raised around this shit since I was a little kid.
Right on. I went through Stevens, and I spent my first 4 years there. That was the worst 4 years of my life.
Yeah. I've been with Prime since 2010.
Well, you bought a truck, so it's been pretty successful for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing pretty good for yourself. That's good, man.
And they even help you. And, you know, I got an E-fund, and I got enough to do an engine rebuild when I need that. But I'm 2-3 years away from that already.
It's good.
They hold your maintenance account for you, or you set that up yourself?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if you set it up with them, they help you with it. You know, that's what I like about Prime. You know, we can do this for you for a small fee, which is like, $3 or $4 a week. You know, it's like they'll do it for you. Like, you guys go ahead and do it. I don't want that pain in the ass.
Right. Yeah, Stevens, back when I did the lease there, it was like 81 cents a mile. They would keep 2 cents a mile for your maintenance, and then $100 a week for your time off account. And that's kind of how that worked. But the maintenance account they never did use. That was one of the reasons I used to get mad, because they would pull the maintenance, whatever maintenance need to be done, they'd take it out of your next check and never use your maintenance account.
Yeah, I don't know what it'd be for like a company driver here at Prime. I wouldn't know what that's like. I just go by what I hear. lease drivers, I wouldn't lease a truck right now because the rates didn't go up with the price of the lease of a truck because that's gone way up. And I'm just glad I'm in the position I'm in now. I ain't got to worry about it. Just, my engine rebuild, but I already saved up for it. It's called an E fund.
Well, with the truck prices going up the way they've gone up, you're probably pretty lucky that you got locked into that.
Mhm.
At the time that you did. Another 6 months, man. It's going to be hard to buy a truck.
Yeah, and I tell you, here at Prime, when I first came here, there was only 36 people back in 2010, and gradually, up till about 5 years ago, we were getting up to 100 students a week. They'd come off the bus and they'd stay at the campus across the street. Now we have like 200. You can't. It's hard to get a motel room in Springfield now on Sunday and Mondays for half of the week because they got all these students here now.
Well, when I was at Stevens, they were doing that back then. It was 65 to 100 people per class.
Yeah, and I told them, some of the students will come up and ask me, "Are you a trainer?" I said, "Not anymore. I used to." And I told them, I said, "This is not for everybody." I said, "Not all of you are going to make it all the way through the program, let alone the ones that are going to leave after they complete it, because it's a lifestyle. You got to get used to it, and some of them can't handle being away from family that long."
Hey, Shawn, T-Bone's asking if Prime suspended their lease. He heard something about that.
I didn't hear anything about that.
So I guess that's a no.
Not that I know of. I mean, if y'all know something that I don't, I haven't heard anything about it. I do know they've been having a hard time getting trucks in for people who completed and got their CDL and ready to go out on their own. I know they're bringing up these older trucks that have been used, giving them to the students that graduated. And I'm like, I wouldn't want that.
No, I know here where I work at, they stopped the truck sales. They're not selling trucks to drivers right now, and it's because of the truck shortage. They're running them on the fleet longer than they used to. Because it's harder for us to get our trucks. They've been delayed out, the shipments. So.
Uh-huh. Well, Tolga, the interest rate, or what's that word I'm looking for? I just had a brain fart. The inflation rate has gone over 7%, but people's pay has only gone up 5%. Not everybody's, but the pay that has gone up. So the inflation is always going to be higher than the rate of pay. That's why everybody's standard of living is collapsing.
Yeah, and I don't think that inflation's through coming up. I think it's going to continue.
My wife just sent me some photos at a Walmart, and a lot of shelves are empty in Richmond, Indiana. Completely barren. I said, "Is there any damn bum roll left?" And they said, "Yeah, we just barely got some of that." About toilet paper. I hang around a lot of British people. They call it bum roll.
Well, my wife was telling me she went to CVS the other day to get some kind of medicine or something, and she said those shelves were empty as hell. She said there wasn't shit there. There's just fucking people sick everywhere, man.
Well, I went to Walmart today. There were certain things that were missing here in Florida, mainly in like the poultry aisle, and then frozen foods, of course, because that's what we buy a lot of on trucks. There was a lot of shortages in those areas. So I guess in certain parts of the country and certain products, back home, there's been a shortage on bottled water, like where I live at that Walmart there. But every time they get a load in, it's gone just as fast as they get it in.
Well, I'm going to pop on out of here, fellas. My phone's about to die.
You have a good night, Juan.
Yeah, you too, man. We'll chat tomorrow.
This is what I drink when I don't have a coffee. This is kind of water I drink, and it's getting hard to find.
Those are good.
All I drink is tea. I drink so much tea, I piss straight tea. That's all I drink is tea.
Well, you guys have a good night. I'll be listening for a little bit, and then I'll chat to you guys tomorrow. And just want to pop in and say hello. Yeah, you too. Nice meeting you guys, and
all right,
we'll chat again later.
Yeah, Juan's pretty good people. He's gonna buy me a new Pete next year.
I think Peterbilt stopped making the 579 though. They
have a good night.
the mid roof. They make them all ultra lofts now.
Mm.
That's why there's only me and a few others that have the mid roof P579. That's what I bought.
Yeah, Nevada was saying that they, when he was talking about the getting them custom made, that they're out till what, the end of 2022 or 2023. It's quite a ways out.
Yeah.
You know, for the
I
guys
like
that are
that.
trying to get in there and get a custom Peterbilt.
I like the Mac Anthem because when you look at it from the front, it looks like it was made from giant Legos. I think it's cool.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm in love with that. I've been in love with the Mac. I think you can't beat a Mac.
Yeah,
And I think
it broke my heart when Volvo bought Mac. I don't know how everybody else felt about it. You know, I
I
still
didn't
love
like
a
it
Mac.
either.
I still love a Mac. I mean, it's a bulldog truck. It's still got that workhorse truck. That's what we ran when I was in the
Yeah.
oil field, pulling oversized and moving rigs. We ran Macs. But man, it just broke my heart when Volvo bought them, and I was scared Volvo was going to take Mac and make it like a Volvo and just totally mess it up.
Yeah.
But they've kind of left it alone, you know.
My dad
Right.
drove those half cab Macs back in the 70s. You could run those trucks to hell and back and they'd still run. They were well built trucks.
Yeah, those Macs, man, you just about can't beat them. We ran them off road, you know, in the oil field, getting them rigs out in the fields and stuff like that. That Mac, man, I think it had 700,000 miles on it at the time I had it. You know, with the company I was with, it never broke down on me. That was a tough running truck. I mean, it was
Did
just
you ever?
tough.
You ever been in one with?
pulled an end dump.
You ever been in one with old one with the two sticks?
Yeah,
That's
I
why
have.
I first backed in my dad's truck. He had the two stick Mac. Man, I'd like to give one of the newer guys one of those. Say, here you go, try that out.
Oh,
You know, let's go retro. Let's go back to the old bingo cards. That'll really confuse some drivers.
right.
Yeah, I had an Uber ride today when I came back over to the yard from the hotel, and the Uber driver, he was an older cat, a little bit older than me, and he had a stick shift, and he told me, he said, Florida's got the highest rate of auto theft, so I won't run anything but a stick shift because these youngsters can't drive this. I can leave my keys in the car and I'm good.
Yeah, well, they got these automatics now. I won't drive. I drove one. I didn't like it.
I got
I
an
didn't like
automatic, and I don't mind it in good weather. I really don't mind it. But when it's snowing, I hate it. I do not like an automatic when it's snowing. And I really don't like our automatics because we got that radar on the front, that automatic braking deal for trucks too close.
Yeah.
I want to control when my truck brakes, or you know what I'm saying? I don't want that device kicking my brakes in when I'm not ready for it to. So
Yeah.
I run with my foot on the pedal, which keeps that disengaged, so I don't have to worry about it seeing a sign or a car cutting me off and it throwing on the brakes when I'm not wanting it to, you know, in snow and
Here
ice.
at Prime, you can have it disabled after you've gotten your truck paid for. The only thing you can't do, I mean, you can, but they'll catch you and they'll say, hey, either turn your truck down or we're going to cancel your contract. You're going to have to go somewhere else. Which
Yeah.
I don't mind. Mine's at 70.
Yeah, we're at 68. They just bumped us to 68, but I'd pretty much just stay in the right lane anyway. 68 ain't enough to mess with.
But I don't use it a lot. I stay below 65. You know, I just hate it when I go to pass somebody that's going too slow and they decide to speed up beside me. And I'm like, screw this, I'm going to hit 70.
Yeah, T-Bone, when I'm up north, for some reason I see more shortages. But I've also noticed when I'm up north, I see less people working. They seem to have more of their restaurants closed, more of their fast food places closed, stuff like that. So I think that's got a lot to do with why there's so much shortage up north.
Venezuela, it has not the hyperinflation you would think. It hasn't hit like the 1923 hyperinflation of Weimar Germany. That hits, believe me, you're going to know about it. They'll be starving in the streets. You know, a loaf of bread can cost you probably anywhere between, you know, at its height, it cost you 5 million Deutschmarks for a loaf of bread at its height because prices were doubling every 2 hours for 6 months. It was nasty.
I won't be starving in the streets because I'm gonna set up a roadblock and I'm gonna start robbing reefer drivers.
Well,
Right.
us being drivers, we know where all the food is. That's what's great about it.
Right.
We know
If
where
I
all the
see
food's at.
if that happens and I see you with your reefer on, you better hide because that's where I'm going after. You know, if it gets to be that much for a loaf of bread. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about turkey. I know that I think the shortages here are due more to people not working than they are anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, the boards of directors of your major corporations, they're the ones that raise and lower prices. It's not the government. What happens is they're like this. Why should we produce more for less when we can produce what we're making or less than we're producing and charge more for it? It's more profitable to do it that way.
Right, right. And T-Bone, I agree. I do not like that mitigation system, that collision mitigation system. You know, when it's icy and snowy, sometimes it'll catch an overpass and it'll kick it on, or it'll catch one of them Jersey walls and kick it on. I really think they're more dangerous than they are anything. Not only
Yeah.
that, but with these younger drivers that are coming out, it's teaching them not to pay attention to what's in front of them because that's going to do it for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know, and they need to be more focused on what's going on up there instead of depending on a computer on the truck to do it for them because that computer can fail. So
Yeah.
that kid,
I
go ahead.
When I train students, I told them, look, you're always on alert. You're always moving your head. You're always going to be doing something. You know, it plus it helps you stay alert and stay awake where you're not daydreaming or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and I mean, you these kids coming out here, or I say kids, but these new drivers coming out here, if they get used to that system, and they're used to it doing it for them, then the first time that system fails, you got a problem.
Yep.
You know, I know when I was training, I used to try to engage them by asking them what mile marker we just passed. You know, stuff like that to keep them in the moment to what's going on right now. Don't depend on all the gadgets that these trucks got to do it for you. It's just like these trucks here, we got that right lane change mitigation system on these. This is the first year that we got them. Now our company is having left lane change accidents. Well, what they don't realize is the reason those have gone up is guys have gotten used to when they turn that blinker on, if they hear a red light, they know someone's there, or they hear that
Mhm.
that beep and that see that red light. Well, when they go to the left, they get so used to it that they don't hear nothing, so they think they're clear. They're just doing it without looking. And I believe that's why our left lane change accidents have started going up because you obviously don't have that system on the left side. You only have it on the right. And guys have gotten so used to hearing that sound when they turn that blinker on, making a right lane change, that they're forgetting that they don't have it on the left side, and that's why they're having that accident on the left side.
I
That's
tell
just
them use all three mirrors. You got your side mirror and you got the frog mirror underneath it, and then use your hood mirror.
right.
And if you got them positioned right, you'll catch somebody over there if there's somebody there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I believe that's why those left lane change or squeeze accidents, whatever they want to call them, I think that's why they're going up here at this company is because of that. But I may be wrong. That's just a guess. Wow, that's crazy. Let me see here what we got. Brandon said, "You want to rob me? I'll just hand it out." Well, we already know if Brandon's coming from Utah, he's got chicken, he's got poultry. So we're going to have to hit him up when he's on the poultry side coming down. We'll send him back for another load. Keep bringing us poultry. A whole truck of poultry we can eat for a while.
Yeah, the reaper fuel doesn't last very long, so I'd offload some of it and trade it for something.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna have to rob him out in the country too, because if we rob him in the city, we're gonna get robbed. So we got to catch him out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, I'm in a 2022 T-bone, and it's extra sensitive. It's crazy how sensitive it is. Um,
Yeah, I'm
it
sorry. I don't like the new Cascadias as of a few years ago when they changed the design of it.
mhm.
Excuse my language for a minute, but to me, the newer Freightliners look like a international fuck to Freightliner. That's what it looked like to me. I'm like, no. And then I saw the Pete 579. Ooh, like, ooh, I'll take that one. And then 2 weeks later, they come out with the Mac Anthem, and I'm like, shit. If they would have came out with it 2 weeks later, I would have got the Mac.
Oh,
But I like both of them.
I like the International Lone Star. That train looking hood on it. I think that is the sexiest truck I've ever seen.
The one with the antique looking hood.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, my dumbass a bunch of years back, whenever Celadon came out, they were leasing those International Lone Stars. I wanted one so bad because I loved the way it looked. It had the old style look to it and all that. Ran over there and leased one. And I mean, it was a nice riding truck. Don't get me wrong, and it looked good going down the road. But it's still an International, you know.
I could be wrong, but didn't the hood design they get it from the old 1926 Ford pickup truck?
Yes, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that. All they did was add the breathers to it. They're just for show, and then they put the chrome stacks coming up right where the cab comes in and around. It's a sharp looking truck. They're beautiful trucks, but which by the way, that Lone Star package you can buy on any International. It's just a package you buy on the International.
Yeah. I also like the Coronados. Those were nice.
Yeah, the Coronados are real nice. But getting into some of the older trucks, I like the FLDs myself. I like those FLDs.
Yeah, here at Prime, when I first came here, we still had a mass quantity of Freightliner Columbians, but we had the pad, where you test out students to get their CDL. When you were out there, it sounded like you were at the airport because those old Columbians would give off that whistle like a jet engine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. KO46. He's pretty much into cars, so I know.
The 1930 Ford pickup. Okay.
Yeah,
I know it's somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's got that front end on it, and they tried to, I guess, catch it up with modern times and give it kind of a modern look. But that Lone Star was a beautiful truck. But you notice you don't see a whole lot of them on the road because they were still an International,
Mm-hmm.
They were just an expensive International, which really didn't make sense. But I went and leased one for a while, and I enjoyed driving it. It was a good truck.
If there was one brand of truck, well, actually two, I wish they would bring back, because they have brought some of the older motorcycles back, like Indian came back in, early 2000. And I got me the classic Indian Chief long ago. I don't have very many miles on it, and they brought back the Triumphs. I'm kind of hoping that like maybe in the trucking industry, they'd bring back the old Diamond Rios and the Marmons. Those were handmade, and those were good trucks too. Every now and then you'll catch a Marmon out on the road. Believe me, it's a treat to look at one.
I hope if they go to bringing things back, they need to bring back the Cat. That's what I hope they bring back. They need to get Caterpillars back out here. I miss them old Cats. Detroit's a good engine. I don't really care for the pack cars too much, but if they're going to bring things back, I wish they'd bring a Cat back.
I don't know why they call them Detroits, because nothing is made in Detroit. They're made in Mexico.
Well, if you remember the old Detroits, you never had to change the oil in them because they always leaked. All you had to do is keep adding oil to them. You always had fresh oil in the old Detroit. But you couldn't break one of them motors if you tried to. Them Detroits are tough, man.
Yeah, I confuse some of the older drivers that were in my dad's day or older, if they're still around. I only know it because of my father. Back in the day before they had microwaves, the way you heated your sandwich or your food up is you take some tinfoil, wrap it in tinfoil, and then wrap a towel around it and set it on the manifold. That's how you heated your food up back in the day.
Dude, I remember my dad cooking steaks off the manifold. I mean, it's a wonder that any of us are still alive. With the way we cooked back then. I mean, nowadays you got everybody wearing masks and gloves everywhere they go, and we used to eat our food off the manifold, a piece of aluminum foil.
Yeah. and they
Yes,
didn't have cell
correct.
phones, and you had to sit at the truck stop at this bar, and it's got every 2 feet there's a cell a pay phone, and
You
you're
remember
waiting
when
on
they
that
used to?
call for dispatch.
You remember when they used to put the phones at the tables?
Yeah,
Kettle
some
Restaurant
of the
used to be
TAs.
one of them. Yep, yep. And they would set the phones at the table so you could call and sit on hold with dispatch, waiting for your next load. You know, it's like, yeah, I'll take a steak and eggs and take your time because I'm probably going to be here for the next 45 minutes waiting for dispatch to answer.
Yeah,
And
I
it was
wish I could bring
hell.
my dad back.
And it was hell if they told him to call back. I remember them like telling my dad, well, we're not ready yet. Give us a call back in 15 minutes. No, no, no. You got me on the phone. You're staying on the phone till you give me a load. I'm not calling back in 15 minutes.
Yeah, my dad would come back to life and see the way the industry is. He'd be like, "Wow, we got women drivers. It's no longer our game, fellas." I know that's exactly what he would say.
Well, something I remember from back in those days that I really miss is, we had a lot more unity out here.
The
Drivers,
brotherhood, yeah,
you know,
that I don't see it coming back.
we used to give each other shit, but we stuck together. You know what I'm saying? We may have picked on each other, but we stuck together. It wasn't nothing to walk into a truck stop and see a table of drivers sitting together, never met each other before.
Yeah,
You'd meet up in the parking lot. It was that way even when I got out here. We'd meet up in the parking lot and, hey, let's go grab a bite to eat.
yeah, it was about brotherhood because of this. We're all situated the same way economically, and we're all looking out for our families. That was the whole deal right there, and it should be
Yeah.
that way today.
Well, it's like I tell people, we got DOT after us. These companies, they don't really care about us when it comes down to it. We could die. They're going to replace us tomorrow. They won't remember us next week. We're out here away from our families. All we got is each other. If we turn on each other, we literally do not have shit. We don't have nothing
Yeah.
left if we turn on each
Mhm.
other. That don't mean we got to agree on everything. That don't mean we're always going to get along. That doesn't mean that we're not going to pick on each other, but we need more unity than what we have. And if you think about it, the government can do whatever they want to us because we're not unified at all.
Yeah.
You
That's why
can't get you can't get 5 drivers to agree on nothing. We'll argue over the color of a rock.
a lot of drivers don't know who Jimmy Hoffa was. And the ones that do thought he was the dream. I'm like, look, yeah, he may have had dealings with the mob, but look what he did for the trucking industry. You go back into history and see what Hoffa did,
Yeah,
although he disappeared.
I really wouldn't want to walk down the same road that Hoffa walked down. You might end up in the Lake Michigan or the bottom of a pool or wherever Hoffa ended up at.
Under Giant Stadium was a famous one.
Yeah, or in the trunk of a Toyota headed to China. But the unity that was out here, and I remember it when my stepdad drove. I remember my grandfather drove. The unity was different. And a lot of people say, well, everybody's talking shit to each other nowadays. Well, everybody was talking shit to each other back then too. But at the same time, we stuck together. Wasn't nobody from outside the industry going to mess with another driver. We were like a big family out here. And that's why at the end of my videos I always put in there, we're one big family. We may be dysfunctional, but we're one big family.
Well, some guys still have CBs, Brandon. I'm sure you know. I mean, but yeah, they're hardly even used, and it was thanks to the FCC don't have the teeth it once did. They don't care what's going on in Citizens Band anymore, unless you're really pumping out, a big signal, and then that'll raise some eyebrows. But yeah, but everybody had respect back in the day. It ended right around the late '80s. We got these radio Rambos, cussing like a truck driver, but you didn't cuss on the radio back then. If you did, you got ignored.
It was definitely different back then than what it is now. That's for sure. And cell phones didn't make it any better either. It's like now when you pull into a truck stop, everybody jumps on their cell phone. They close up their curtains. They're not socializing with each other. I can go down the road past 3 state troopers and never hear about it once on the radio. Where somebody's having a problem with their truck, you try to give them a holler on the radio, give them a heads up, nothing. Never hear nothing. Sometimes my radio goes off and it scares me because I'm not used to it going off. And that's sad. It's sad that it's reached that level.
Most of the time I hear chatter is whenever there's a slowdown or a stop. I'm like, well, okay, what's going on up here? And people get on the radio.
Yeah, they turned it on at the last minute when they could have avoided it had they had it on 5 miles ago.
Yeah, and that could have saved us when those pileups happened in Wyoming. Another one just happened, but 6 years ago. I'm glad I was in Wyoming, but they had just lowered the boom over I-80, and I was stuck at the Sinclair truck stop at exit 221. I was there for 3 days because that's how bad it was.
Yeah, and I mean there were it's just changed so much, and it seems to get worse every year. It gets worse and worse. But I don't know if it'll ever get better. I kind of agree with you on that. I don't believe it'll ever come back around like it was. But
I've had students go home just from what I told them, and I was being honest. I'd be dropping off my student. He'd be getting his own truck or whatever. He's bitching with his girlfriend over the cell phone, and these new students come up to me. Are you a trainer? I'm like, yeah. He goes, what's wrong with your student? I said, oh, he's upgrading. He goes, no, he's yelling on the phone. I said, guys, in 2 or 3 months, when you're done with your training, if you got a girlfriend or a significant other, that's going to be you. So a lot of them quit and go home because they don't want to lose their girlfriend or whatever.
It's hard to maintain that out here. You got to have a special relationship. She's either got to come with you or you got to be able to trust her. She's got to be able to trust you.
It takes a special woman to be the significant other or whatever of a trucker. They love to spend the money.
or you got to do like me and get one that you don't like. That way you can handle the time apart. When we're together, it's just enough time that we're both ready to go apart. But most relationships out here fall apart. Unless they happened while you're already in this industry. You got.
Yeah, but I hate to bring up the subject, but believe it or not, it keeps the sex fresh. Like, oh yeah, I mean, you haven't been with your wife or whatever, and a month or whatever, and you get home, and, do the dance. It's like, wow, man, it's almost like the first time again. Instead of it, if something becomes routine, it's kind of boring and not exciting, and you just lose it. But if it's not routine, I think it's better.
Well, it does keep it fresh. When you're out here on the road and then you go home, you never have to reach that 1 minute mark, Roger. So it keeps it real fresh. Oh shit, the other trucker James Best. Oh boy, how's it going, James? Hope you're doing all right, man. Hope you recovered from the tie down the other night. Well, I woke up the other morning. I was in his deal watching him the other night, and I went to bed, took my break. I got up the next morning. He was still on live, but I guess he had fell asleep or something. His live was still going. There were people in the chat room, but his screen was blacked out.
But I got to tell you, there was, I'd say, at least 30%, or maybe a little bit more. 30% of these classes that are coming to Prime every week are women, and they're getting better looking. They don't look like Luca Brasi so much.
Well, are they getting better? Are they getting better looking, or are we just getting older?
No, they're getting better looking because I've seen some. Oh, damn, she looks like Luca Brasi.
Yeah, I've seen some that are beautiful. They didn't look like that when I started driving. When I started driving, if you saw a woman trucker, you couldn't tell if it was a woman or a male. You kind of looked at it for a few minutes, tried to figure it out.
They look butchy, like they can kick somebody's ass.
Yeah. Back in the day, you'd see them women throwing chains, and I mean, it was a different deal. But I kind of like that it's getting mixed up like that now. That part I do like. But back in the old days, there wasn't very many women out here. Now I park in a truck stop, and sometimes I'll have one on both sides because it's getting really mixed up out here now.
Well, I've made friends with some female drivers, and they didn't know that I parked right next to them at a truck stop, and they're asleep, and I'll go knock on their door, and they're like half asleep, and they roll down the window and ask, "You want some company?" And they're like, "Fuck you, Shawn." I'd be messing with them, Instead of a woman asking if we want company, I did not mess with her. Her name is Betty. Knocked on her. "You want some commercial company?" They're like, fuck you. And we talk for a little while because they're half asleep. They don't recognize you at first.
Martin, I agree with you, and that's something me and Shawn were talking about a while ago. If they'd had their CBs on, it probably would have saved quite a bit of accidents and stuff that happened, in that
Yeah, you
pile
can
of
still
wreck area.
find that footage on YouTube. Some female that was on the other side filmed the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that FedEx driver just full speed barreling in. Boom. And that video should tell, there's an issue with FedEx. And I tell everybody, if you ship something FedEx during the wintertime, it might not get there.
But on the lot lizard days, Shawn, you remember in Albuquerque, New Mexico at the Flying J, they had the holes in the fences and the girls would get dropped off in the desert. And right at dusk, they'd come walking through the truck stop there, coming up between the trucks. Man,
Yeah.
when I first started driving, they used to scare the hell out of me. You'd be sitting up front doing your paperwork. All of a sudden, there's a girl walking out of the desert. It's like Attack of the Zombies, the way them lot lizards looked back then.
But in my dad's day, back in the 70s, it was real respectable. They called them rolling hoe houses. They'd be like a Winnebago RV. They would park, and these women would be dressed to the nines, okay? And there would always be typically the madam that was driving them around. They would have the Winnebago and everything. I remember that, and they were a lot more respectable back then. But I remember the TA in Ontario when it was two TAs. It was TA West. You could see anywhere between 50 to 100 girls in there. I remember when they put a stop to it. It was like back in 2011 when it just whoosh, they were gone. But a lot of them were underworked porno actresses. I ran into a couple of them and got their autograph. Ginger Lynn was one of them.
No, I remember TA East and TA West, and I remember when they shut it down. And it was right after they did that documentary on it. And they featured some of the truck stops. They featured Oklahoma City, the Loves up there, TA, I think Fort Wayne, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Jacksonville, Florida. But
across the country, it stopped. They went online
almost instantly. I mean, it was weird. It was almost instantly.
Then they went to Backpage and they shut that down. And now other websites, I guess. I don't know, but it's all online now.
But I remember sitting at TA West, sitting on the third row, and I was trying to count the girls one night to see how many were on the lot. I lost count in the 20s when I couldn't tell if I'd already counted that one or not. I remember when the cops used to roll through the lots and the girls would get up under the trailers, or they would just slide up into a truck and crawl through to the other side. TA used to get wild over there, man. I mean, really wild.
Yeah, I was kicked out of the TA West once because I delivered beef in LA somewhere. I can't remember where it was, but they had 3 cases that they rejected because the boxes were crushed. This was uncut sirloin steak. They were 50-pound beef loins. And I gave all of it away and kept one. And I talked to this guy that drove flatbed. He goes, I'm parked way out here. I got a grill. People were bringing things and we're cutting it and burning steaks there on the grill. And some of the security guys came over and said, we can't do that. And you're like, hey, go and grab you a steak, man. Until the supervisor showed up and they want you to buy their food. I'm like, I'm not charging anybody for this. People are bringing stuff. We're just having a good time. No, they ran us all off.
Yeah, I used to like the TA West. I park over at the Petro now. It's a Petro now. It used to be the TA East, but normally when I'm out there, it's where I park now. But TA West used to be the spot, man. That or the Cherry Street truck stop. I don't know if that's still there or not. It's been so long since I've been over there.
Oh, yeah, it's still there. But you don't. They're gonna buy. I see that the online thing, people are getting busted and all that. I think the girls probably, if the economy really takes a turn for the worse and gets worse, I can see the girls returning to the truck stop again. But for the most part, you don't want it.
No, it's hard to sleep. A lot of drivers get killed. A lot of drivers get hurt. There's a lot of bad that comes with it. I remember one night in Birmingham, Alabama. I had to be up at like 3:00 in the morning. I was running reefers. I was running chasing hours or something, but I don't remember. But every 45 minutes or so, a different girl would knock on my truck and wake me up. finally about the third or fourth one, and I don't know if you remember, but you didn't want to talk to him crazy. You didn't want to messing with your truck. But about the third or fourth one, I was like, look, I done told all these other girls out here that I'm trying to get some sleep and I need to get up early. She said, well, you got $10. You give me $10, nobody will bother you. So what the hell? I handed her $10 the rest of the night. Never, not a peep, man.
Mm-hmm.
Gave me an idea. I should have done that back in the day when I was doing 34-hour resets. I should have put a sign out in front of the truck. You need some sleep? Let me know. $10. I'll keep all the lot lizards away from your truck.
Yeah,
These days are wild.
I haven't seen one. Shit, I haven't seen one since 2015, if that. I was at the Petro in Vegas, Northern Vegas, right next to the raceway. And this girl was so bad off. I thought an alien escaped from Area 51. She was all skin and bones. And I'm like, no, I'm not interested. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $10 if you do my laundry. She dropped an F-bomb and walked away. I'm like, shit, I got to do my laundry.
I think the last one I saw was 2016, and I believe I was in Kansas City. I think I was in Kansas City. 2016. Truck stop not too far off of Front Street. Not that one that's out there by the casino, but one that's up in town a little more down Front
Yeah,
Street.
that's on 35.
Mm-hmm.
That I believe it's a Pilot. It's right near the casino there on 35.
Yeah, right. That's what's out there by the Pilot and also by the caves that are right there next to it. That used to be an independent truck stop. Pilot bought them, which that's been happening quite a bit in recent years.
Yeah, it's so nasty in there, and it's overloaded. I don't even go in there anymore.
No, last time I was in there, they had the grill closed, and COVID was going on real bad last time I was in there. I went over to the casino, but I've never had any luck at that casino. I got worse luck at that casino than James Best does picking football teams, man. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun in that casino, but I've never hit anything in there. It's almost like that Sky City casino. I just donate. Those are just donation spots.
I don't gamble. I'm probably the only person you'd meet that say that I'm bored in Vegas.
Well, that's why you got that. That's why you bought that Pete. Because you don't gamble.
Well, they say, go see some of the shows and everything. And I did that. And that day, I was like, there's no shows going on, all but one. And they handed me a flyer, and it was called Puppetry of the Penis. And I was like, whoever came up with this show is more bored than I am.
Yeah, that's wild. Some of the shows in Vegas are pretty good. I don't gamble a lot, but I will stop and spend a couple $100 or something like that. But like I say, I call it a donation.
Yeah. Southbound, you'll lose your job pretty quickly. They'll get rid of you. There's been a few that done that, and didn't last very long. And it happens all the time. That girl, that's why I would never train females, because it's a lose-lose situation. They can make up anything about you, and you're guilty until proven innocent.
I trained females, but Southbound, he's correct. And when you train females, you got to be real careful. There were a lot of precautions that I took to make sure that I wouldn't lose my job. Also, I ran a camera, which I kept the sound on inside, But yeah, there's a lot of precautions that come, and I prefer not training females whenever I was training, because it was so stressful.
Because there's a lot of females in the industry now, and Prime, I think, has eliminated co-ed training for that reason.
Yeah, a lot of companies have, because there's too many lawsuits involved behind it. And just like Shawn said, she can claim you did something when you didn't do anything, just for maybe she got mad at you. Maybe she doesn't feel she's doing that good, or you're like, she's not going to pass, or it could be any number of reasons she could drop that on you. That's playing with your job. That's playing with your life. You could end up going to jail behind it, if it got serious enough. So yeah, training females is a little bit rough, and like he said, that ain't it. Commercial Buffalo right here, baby. Oklahoma City used to have some pretty lot lizards. Sometimes. But yeah, I've known drivers that got in a bind behind training females. We had a
Early
couple of
on,
Stevens.
I remember my trainer took me down to Boys Town back in 2010, and he took me to the donkey show, and I didn't know what it was. I'm like, donkey show. I'm like, okay, and I first saw it. I'm like, she's not going to do what I think she did, and she did. And I ran to the corner, and I just threw up right there in the corner. Boom! I was like, he goes, man, you are a weak son of a bitch. I'm like, that's freaking gross, man. Get it out of here. Get out of here. He goes, man, all new trainees had to come down here. I'm like, no, I didn't want to. I knew that was going to go on.
Well, it actually gets worse than that. I think in Matamoto, or Matamoto, however it's pronounced, at one time they had something similar that was done with a snake, and it was done in the boys' town there.
Oh, man.
Well, they actually had somebody who was in charge of getting the snake back. That would be the job not to have,
Yeah, but I always made the joke, yeah, I'm going to go to Boys Town to go see Father Flanagan. Only a few people would get that one.
I ain't
that
been
old
down.
TV show.
I haven't been down Laredo in a while, but they used to have that guy that sat over there at the Flying J, got on the CB. He used to offer
Drunk
rides
Indian.
down there. Yeah, that's it.
I think he's retired now. Somebody else is doing it for him. There's that. There's they take you to the Lucky Lady there in the Petro. That used to be a guy named Pappy. He was a former driver in El Paso. He take you down to Juarez. And I got to tell you this. If that's something you're looking for, one of the best places to go in Tijuana is Hong Kong. Best place to go.
I don't go to Mexico anymore. It's gotten too dangerous down there. I don't mess with it. I haven't been to Mexico and.
Oh, you're protected down there. Believe it or not, they want you to have a good time. I
been a
told
while.
some of my people, I said, you show your ass, yeah, you're going to get dealt with, but they want you to come down here to spend your money. But when I went to Hong Kong, man, my hands had seen more ass in 2 hours than a gynecologist, man. Putting butt cheek, and they're all fine down there.
Did you see Brandon here? He said, if I want to see my girlfriend to wear a mini skirt, I just put my fingerless gloves on. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't think something ain't right, Brandon. Something ain't right. But no, I haven't been down there. I used to go down there. I guess Drunk Indian. He had the van, the old raggedy van years ago. Used to go down there, but God, that's probably before 2010. The last time I went down there.
Yeah, I think he retired. I think a couple years ago, because one of my students was a childhood friend of mine. He goes down there a lot. He lives in McGregor, Texas, right next to Waco.
Are you still training over there at Prime?
No, I stopped training about 2 years ago. I trained my nephew, and that was it.
Why'd you get out of it?
I mean, the money is good, yes, but I don't need that much money. I mean, and plus, I don't want to risk my life anymore. My truck and everything. It's just no. I'd rather not. I don't need to.
I'm gonna ask your opinion, and this is something I already have an opinion on, but I'm gonna ask you to see if yours is anywhere near what I think. Did you notice a change in the students over the years? A change in their drive, a change in their work ethic as the years went by?
Well, it depends on what kind of students you got. I handpicked mine, and I usually ask them to have a show of hands. I'd talk to the whole group and say, do any of you have or been to college, have a degree? And the ones that raise their hand, I'm like, okay, come over here. And I'm like, I'll see y'all later. And I taught basically all my students were former college graduates. They had anywhere between engineering degrees, computer degrees, everything, you name it. They have a degree in it. And those were my best students.
Yeah, where I trained at, I trained at 3 different companies, and neither one of the 3 companies let us pick our students. So they were just getting handed out. And I noticed, like, between 2009 and probably 2012, there was definitely a change in the type of students that were coming out. It seemed like the ones I was getting had less motivation, less drive. A couple hundred miles a day was all they wanted to do, and I kept trying to explain to them, you're not going to make a living out here like that.
Yeah, but a lot of those college grads, they got student loans they got to pay for. I said, you come out here and you got a lot of drive, and you keep the door shut, and keep moving. You can have your student loans paid off in a couple of years, easy.
Right.
And a lot of them did that.
You were looking for the ones that had a reason to be motivated.
Mm-hmm. Usually your college educated ones.
They weren't sitting at home with mama with no bills.
Because I got degrees too. I got a degree in economics, broadcasting, and I got a BA.
Well, there ain't no degree here. The only degree I got came from Texas Department of Corrections. So, but I'm still motivated. But when I came into the industry, the economy was bad at that time. We were going through a recession.
Yeah. At TJ Jones, it is worth it if, like, say you're at Prime and you got a lease you got to pay for. It is worth it to train, yes, because then you'll be making money because you got that truck payment every week. Or
I make good money
buying your truck. Yeah, you can make good money being a trainer, yes. But there's also the risk. I remember doing PSD, sitting over there, and I got one handle on the door and one on the clip of my damn seatbelt ready to jump out,
Yeah, you're coming down the mountain and they're freaking out, and you're freaking out worse than they're freaking out, but trying not to show them that you're freaking out, trying to talk them through it.
Yeah, the way I did it, like, say we're going to go down Cabbage for the first time with them, I'll do it the first time, and they're sitting right there watching me. I'll do it the first time. I said, next time it's your turn. And it worked out well.
Yeah, and I haven't trained since we've been in automatics, so I don't know what it's like now. It might be a little bit easier, but training in manuals, it was a little different ball game, But it was it was a pay increase, quite a bit of a pay increase if it was done right. But safety was definitely a factor.
Yeah, I told him, it's bad enough that we're in a sedentary job. You have to be motivated because that's the only way you can, you got to keep moving to keep your health up. If you don't move, your health is going to go to shit.
James comes down mountains.
For that.
James comes down mountains. He just uses that Georgia overdrive. He ain't worried about nothing else. As long as he's got that Georgia overdrive, he's good.
Screw that.
That's when you roll to the bottom and hope like hell there's no backup, like what happened in Colorado a couple years ago. Now, I had a student. We were coming out of Salt Lake City. We were coming up Parlay, and he'd already been out several weeks, and I'd demonstrated. He'd already done a few major mountains, but for whatever reason, he got screwed up, and his miles per hour weren't matching his RPMs. I told him, I said, don't pull it out of gear. Just leave it right there. We'll ride it up. We'll get it straightened out. Do not drop it out of gear. He went and slammed it out of gear. Couldn't get it back.
Mm-hmm. I told him the best way to do it is if you're going down a mountain pass and you don't ever have to hit the brake. Where the tar, I call them tards for short, where it holds you. And I said, so what? You're going slow. You get to the bottom, you turn it off, gear up, you're ready to roll.
Yeah, we were going up the hill.
On brake.
Yeah, we were going up the hill. It was even worse. And I swore we were going to die that day. I thought that was the end of it. I was like, this is my last day. My last day on this earth. I'm going to die with this student out here on the side of Parlay at a dead stop, rolling backwards. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. Oh, Toga's going for some more wine. That's his second trip to go get wine. He's putting them away.
I had an alcoholic friend that he went to AA meetings and went to rehab, and he did it in wine country so he could keep his options open. He said, I'm the only man that can get a DUI in a cul-de-sac.
Well, I don't know if rehab's a place you need to be if you're doing it in wine country so you can keep your options open. What's up, Juan? Looks like you made it back. Where's he working at? TJ Jones. There's quite a few companies out here that train.
Yeah, Swift, Sierra England, Stevens, Prime. Celadon used to. Did somebody buy Celadon, or they just went under?
I worked for Celadon. That's actually where I leased that truck at, and I trained at Celadon. Which, by the way, Celadon's training program was probably the most dangerous training program I'd ever worked under. I think some people bought parts of it, like they bought their equipment out. But Celadon, that guy ended up going to jail. You know, I don't know if you know about that or not.
Because every Friday we have a meeting at all the yards here at Prime, which is great. I mean, and I was there. I'm like, hey, that is a beautiful yard Celadon's got in Indianapolis that Prime needs to look at.
Oh, he's saying Magnum. I didn't know Magnum trained. That's interesting. I didn't know Magnum was training. But there's more and more companies out here training. I mean, it's big business. I used to say when I was at Stevens that they were a training company that just happened to haul freight, because the majority of the people there were actually students. There were probably more students than there were experienced drivers.
I'm glad I didn't go to Sierra England, because the way they do things, they got trucks that have double to triple bunks. You got the trainer with 3 students. I'm like, this is crazy. The trainer doesn't never have to drive. You know, the students do it. He just sits there and watches them. I'm like, not me. Having that many people on the truck at once, not a whole lot of room in there.
No, it's way too small for all that, man. And y'all better be well showered all the time in this area.
You got your bunk above you, and then they put another one in front of the sleeper, but up high. They had double bunks in those Freightliners at CR England. It was insane.
See, I wouldn't even think that'd be legal. And when I first heard they were running like that, I was wondering how they were doing it legally. You know, but I guess
you were not allowed to sleep on the top bunk. When I was training, they had to sleep in my bunk. You weren't allowed up there on that top bunk.
Right, they had to bring sleeping bags, something they could cover your stuff up with, and sleep on the bottom bunk. So I don't know how they're doing it, but CR England makes me a little nervous anyway, because, and I haven't worked there, so I don't know this for a fact, but I've heard that they allow them guys to train after 3 months of experience. Well, at 3 months, you haven't even driven through a winter yet. Yeah. And then they're going to put you with two students. I mean, it's a wonder they don't have more accidents than they do.
Yeah. At the time when I did it, at Prime, you had to have at least a year. And when my year was up, they immediately, we want you to train, because they knew my background, that I'm second generation. I was born into this shit. Plus, they always gave me a lot of crap because I'm the only one at Prime that ever did that. My second day here as a student, I went ahead and tested out and passed with flying colors. But Linda Brown crinkled it up like, you just got here 2 days ago. You got to go out PSD. My trainer was like, wait a minute, I want that, because they get a bonus. He got an $800 bonus out of that. He was like, wait a minute.
TJ, that sounds a lot like the program that Celadon had, actually. Celadon, the way their program worked was, you got a student. The student had to drive the first 10,000 miles on their own. All right. Trainer wasn't supposed to drive at all, unless for whatever reason the student couldn't hold up and the load was going to be late or whatever. That's the only time the trainer drove.
But how bad it was is I knew more than what my trainer did. He didn't know what a Joe dog was until I showed him.
Yeah. And after 10,000 miles, you could go full teams, and you ran full teams. So I didn't like their program, because most students coming out the gate are not ready to run all day long by themselves.
No.
You know, and that's the way they ran their program. Is out the gate, that student, he or she gets on your truck. They run your truck from day one for the first 10,000 miles, you know, and I really didn't care for that.
And some of them don't have the stamina. You can get fatigued and tired pretty quickly, and I've noticed some of the students do that. Yeah, and that was an issue, you know.
But yeah, TJ was talking about Magnum. That program that he's talking about there at Magnum, that sounds pretty similar to the one that Celadon was running.
Yeah, I wish that the History Channel would have went with it. They were going to do a TV series here at Prime about training, like ice road truckers and all that. And I was selected to be on the show. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll do it. I even got I'm a part of the Screen Actors Guild because when I was younger, I worked for Paramount's Kings Island, and you had to be a part of the Screen Actors Guild because for Fear Fest, I was Jason Voorhees.
Oh wow. Well, 10,000 a year extra adds up, and that's at a minimum from what TJ's saying. So that ain't bad. I haven't trained in a few years, so I don't know what the trainers are doing now at different places. But back when I was training, it was probably about 10,000 a year increase on your pay, maybe a little more sometimes. And if you had some real strong students, it could really increase your pay.
This is no joke. My best students that I had, we were running coast to coast 3 times a week. Okay. Here's how I don't know if they still do it that way, but this is how they did it here at Prime. You get all the money, that you make. If you're leased, you get paid by the load, a percentage of the load. But now I get paid by the load because I own. But your student gets a flat rate of $600 at that time. I think it's $7 now. But they do the math. They got paid 27 cents a mile or that flat rate, whichever is greater. And there were times that my students were getting paid by the mile because it was more than the base. Shit, man. The best I ever did was with my childhood friend Danny that lives in McGregor, Texas. I made $8,000 in 1 week. We bounced back and forth from coast to coast in 1 week, 3 times. And if you can get that scallop load out of down South San Diego by the border, and take it to Massachusetts, that load alone paid almost $8,000.
Yeah, and I agree with TJ on that. It is a win-win for a company driver. It's also good for a lease driver. I leased whenever I did it at Stevens and paid my payment. So it was great on that. Now, being where Shawn's at, where he actually owns his truck, I'm not sure I'd want to put a student in a truck I owned. That would be a little different.
Yeah.
When you actually own the equipment, you don't want to put somebody in there that doesn't know what they're doing. You're trying to train them, and you're worried about your equipment. But when it's the company's equipment, it don't matter.
Yeah, your tires are going to wear down quicker. Your brakes are drums and shoes are going to wear down a lot quicker. Because I make it to where I don't have to touch the brakes going down a mountain pass.
Did you get an automatic or a manual in that truck you bought?
Oh, I got a 10-speed. I had to put an extra $2,000 down on that. I won't drive the automatic. I tried it once. I didn't like it.
Ain't it a shame that a manual is now a special ordered truck?
Yeah. I'm one of only 3 drivers on the entire Prime fleet with a 10-speed. That's why they want me to start training again. I'm like, no. And one of the other 3 is one of my former students that's still here at Prime. He owns his truck too, but his is a Freightliner. There's only 3 of us.
I think these students coming out and not learning to drive manuals, it may make it easier, but they're limiting themselves. Because if later on in their career they ever want to go haul oversized oil field or go to work for a little owner-operator outfit somewhere, most of those places are in manuals. They're not going to be able to, so they limit themselves quite a bit by getting that automatic restriction on their license.
Hey, Tolga, that's true, but you have to agree to drive for Prime a year after you get in your own truck. The year from when you get in your own truck, you have to stay that year. If you don't, then you're gonna have to pay for it because a lot of these schools are charging $3 to $4 to $5,000, to get your CDL, and they're a ripoff. I think it was called Roadrunner was one of them out of Columbus, Ohio. Total ripoff. Because you can get your CDL, but a lot of these companies that pay well are not going to hire you without experience. Like your union, like YRT and ABF, the union ones, you got to have at least 5 years experience, or they're not even going to look at you.
Did the TDLR training that's coming up in February, did that change y'all's school at all there at Prime?
I don't know because I haven't kept up with it because I don't train anymore.
Yeah, February 7th, they're supposed to, FMCSA initiated that new ELDT. It's an entry level driver training course or whatever. It's some kind of extra step that FMCSA has added for guys going to get their license. Now, it also applies to us if we decide, like, I have my hazmat, but let's say I let it go and then I decide to go get it again. Then I got to go take that class in order to get my hazmat added to my license.
Just more of a pain in the ass is what it is.
It's a money grab.
The thing is if you test out on a 10 speed, you can drive an automatic and you can revert back to that 10 speed. But if you test out on an automatic, you can't drive a 10 speed. You'll have to take the test all over again.
Right. And that's the issue, I believe, in the industry. These guys are limiting themselves to that automatic by getting that automatic restriction. They can only drive for a company that has automatics. That's it.
Yeah, that's why I told my nephew coming in, you're going to learn from me because you don't want that blemish on your CDL where you test it out on an automatic. Screw that.
And a lot of these schools now, Roadmaster and a few of these others, they don't even offer it in manual anymore, from what I understand. Which I think Warner bought Roadmaster because every time I see Roadmaster, I see Warner trucks. But
yeah, Warner was going to fold about 8 years ago when the founding owner passed away. They must have had some angel investors to come in that rescued them because they were about ready to file bankruptcy and go under.
I wonder if they're traded publicly like U.S. Express is. U.S. Express is traded publicly.
But a lot of the companies you see out here, a lot of them are going to disappear. They're going to get swallowed up by other companies, or they're just going to go under like Celadon did.
Yeah,
and Celadon was like the 4th largest company.
Well, Celadon actually owned 11 or 12 companies. You know, they owned Handy. They owned a couple of Canadian companies. They owned a company out of Florida. There were a bunch of companies that made up the Celadon group. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that owner actually went to jail. There were some crooked things going on there after he was sued by the drivers. You know, that was over that misclassification of their contractor division.
Yeah, do you remember the Aero Trucking when the guys were saying, you know, park your truck wherever you are, get your stuff and get out? And there was a lot of drivers stuck in different parts of the country and they didn't pay them. I was just coming into the industry when that happened.
That was at Christmas. It was right around Christmas time. Yep.
There was a guy there with his bags and everything, and he was hungry as hell, didn't have any money, and I bought him something to eat at the TA.
Yeah, the company I was working for at the time told us if we ran across one, we could pick them up, you know, and get them somewhere where they needed to be or whatever. All we had to do was report it in. But yeah, that was right at Christmas time. Falcon did the same thing about 5 years ago.
I remember that one.
Right about the same time of the year. They just told everybody that's it, shut it down, you know. That's a scary thing when it comes to our line of work. It can happen quick and happen in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. That's why if they do it here at Prime, I'm like, okay, I want paid for what I got. If you don't, I'm keeping what's in the trailer. I own the truck.
Take it easy, TJ. I appreciate you stopping by, man. And I got to look at your channel today, man. That's pretty good content you're putting out. You had me laughing my ass off. Enjoy your dinner, brother. But yeah, Celadon, they got sued. They got sued by their drivers. They were misclassifying contractors. Celadon was also one of the first companies to start a contractor division where the contractors were able to pick their own freight. That's when they started Eagle. You still see some of their trailers out. They got that Eagle with the emblem on both sides of the E's.
Yeah. My only complaint at Prime that I've done, and they hate it when I bring it up every time, and I had a Friday meeting, I said, I no longer train, but I'm looking out for the trainers here. If you're going to make people a trainer, they're training for a while and they get really good at it, you need to give them a credential that indicates that they have trained for this amount of time, or they're, an actual certified trainer. They won't do that because if they do, it warrants to pay them more. That's why they won't do it. And I'm like, no, you should give out a credential that this person is a certified trainer and has been for so long.
Yeah, I agree. Um, there should be, and I'm kind of surprised they haven't done it yet. There should be some kind of certification that's accepted
Yeah.
nationally for a trainer. If they complete whatever, set up a certain diagram, a certain curriculum for them to complete. You know, but
'Cause
Prime's one of the biggest.
I taught my students, look, every situation is unique. Sometimes you'll run into a situation that's like others. And I said, look, basically all I'm teaching you is how to survive, how to do things safely. And if you do that, then you've done your job. Like I said, if you end up on a road that has a 12-9 bridge in front of you and you stop, that's a good thing. I said, I'll pay that damn park that citation any day, as long as no property got damaged or anything. You did your job.
That's right. I worked for a company one time. I had a safety man, and he used to tell us, he'd say, "If you call me and you haven't touched that bridge yet, you're sitting golden. Just
Yeah,
don't
no
hit it."
damage. You're all right.
That's right. We can fix that. It's a whole lot
Mhm.
cheaper to fix that than it is once you come in contact with that bridge.
Yeah, I tell my students, I said, I'll tell you what, I'll pay your freaking ticket. You just sit there and block traffic all day if you got to.
Yeah,
We'll get you
yeah,
out of there.
yeah. And I actually encountered that myself in Philadelphia one time. I made a wrong turn and I came up on, I think it was 11-1 bridge. There
Oh,
wasn't no,
Jesus.
yeah, there ain't no, you're not going underneath it. 11-1 bridge, it's right there in your window. You're looking at it.
Yeah,
And
and believe it or not, some of the patrolmen are cool about it. They're like, well, at least you didn't go into the bridge. A lot of guys do.
well, I actually got lucky because a cop pulled up on me and he come up there and he said, "Not going to make that, are you?" I said, "No, sir." And Philadelphia, if you come to a stop, you just gridlock that whole area. The whole
Oh,
area
yeah.
comes to a stop.
And they have the audacity to toot their horn, and you're looking at them, and you look at what you're looking at, and you're like, yeah, that
Yeah,
horn ain't going to do nothing for you or me.
no, it's not. But that cop, he backed them all up. He said, "You got enough room?" I said, "Yeah, I think I can make it." He backed me up and went on. He didn't write a ticket. They were just happy I didn't hit the bridge and have to shut it down for the whole day.
Yeah, I don't go there anymore. I'll go to New Jersey, south of New Jersey. I won't do Philly, and I won't do the boroughs. You can't say New York City because, well, this is Brooklyn. Yeah, you got to be smart about it. There's 5 boroughs in New York. I said, I'm not doing Long Island and the 5 boroughs. That kills the whole thing. I said, I'll never go in there. I've done it many a time. And I was there when that driver got murdered at Hunts Point, and I told him, don't ever send me fucking here again.
Hunts Point used to be real bad. Used to be real rough. I did New York City, and Tolga's right in what he said right there. Professional. Professional is professional at the end of the day. Being professional.
Well, we're professional until something happens.
Yeah.
Or only when something happens, we're professional. Other than that, we're unskilled labor.
That's exactly right. Ain't that a crock of shit?
Yeah, and that's why I handed my keys. I said, go back that truck in. Show me how it's done.
I actually watched a video today Asian Maya put out about 7 months ago, but it was a 14-year-old kid driving a long-nosed Pete. Man, it was beautiful. I loved it. But yeah, Hunts Point, I did New York City and all the 5 boroughs my first probably 8 or 9 years out here. I don't do it anymore, but like yourself, we've already been there and done that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to go back. But I get a little frustrated with the new people coming out now that won't go there and have never been there. Because you gotta, put in your time, go do your part.
Yeah. When them new ones give me that sad story, I would tell them, look, we need to baptize you. Everybody goes through it. I didn't like bending over and getting a sigmoidoscopy at the doctor's office either, but we all go through it. So bend over.
That's right. That's right. You got to kind of earn your respect. You got to go do it at least once. Because if you don't go do it, you don't know why you don't want to go do it. You're just going on what somebody told you,
You won't improve as a driver either. You got to challenge yourself sometimes.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. Now, I still do Philadelphia. I still do North Jersey. but I won't do New York City or the boroughs. I really don't care for Boston, but I still do it. I don't care for DC, but I still do
Yeah, but
DC.
it doesn't pay as much as it does, to go in there, and there's nowhere ever any place to park, and I'm like, I'm not dealing with that shit anymore.
Hmm. Yeah, and I don't know what the cost now is to park in Hunts Point. It used to be like $20. I think the last
Yeah,
time I was in Hunts Point, it was like $20.
on a weekday at night from Pennsylvania on I-80 all the way through New Jersey, drivers are parked on the shoulder, and they tried to hand out tickets to that, and I'm like, if you're not going to build more truck stops, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, people are going to want their stuff there, and we got to deliver it, and you don't have truck parking. There's two problems with that. There's too many historical sites that are cordoned off where you can't do anything with it, and the land that is available is too damn expensive, and the truck stop companies aren't going to buy it to build on it. Now I got to hand it to the Loves Company. They have gotten like 8 to 10 times larger since 2010 than now, but they only put like 50 trucking spots in there. It's like throwing a chair off the Titanic.
Yeah, and they keep hollering there's a truck driver shortage, which yeah, there is, but they need to fix the parking shortage before they worry about anything else.
Yeah.
I
mean, yeah, they're complaining that there's a trucker shortage. You're going to keep hearing that because once they get more truckers out and available, then our revenue goes down. I like it the way it is right now because the pay will be up. Once they overload us full of truck drivers, the rates go down. Screw that.
Yeah, supply and demand. But I always tell them, man, y'all are worried about the wrong animal first. First, you need to fix the truck parking situation.
And they never look at the issue where it is. It's in the Northeast.
Yep, Northeast.
But the problem is you got all that historical land that you can't do anything with, and the land that is available is too damn expensive. No one's going to build on it.
Welcome back, Kelly. She said her dinner's over. Her sister and brother-in-law are fat and happy.
I had a student that gave that 72-ounce steak in Amarillo a shot. His name was called him Big Michael Brink. I gave him the name Big Show. He stood 6'8", and he was from Baltimore. He gave it a shot, and I thought he had it too, right? He had everything done. He was chopping into that steak, and I came back after having a cigarette, and he was done. He only had a little bit of steak left. He was like, dog, it's right there. He couldn't finish it. He almost did, though.
Go ahead.
I was there when Molly Schuler did 2 full meals in less than an hour, and she only weighed 130 pounds soaking wet, and she's a beautiful girl. Oh my God, damn, she inhaled that. I get the 18-ounce sirloin, and that's it. No sides, no nothing. I could barely finish that.
Yep, and that's right. That's right, Kelly. Supply and demand. Their ticket revenue goes up. They put more of us out here, they make more money on tickets. But yeah, Shawn, I was parked at that, I was at the TA over there the night that it happened, but there was a driver killed over there at that steakhouse there in Amarillo 2 years back. Yep. Sure enough.
What happened?
I don't know. They found him dead later. Nobody was there when it actually happened. He still had his wallet on him, so he wasn't robbed. But I don't think they ever found out who did it or what the situation was.
Yeah, the TA and the Loves put a stop to it. They used to give you free limo rides from the truck stop to the big Texan there. But them being assholes, we want you to buy our food. Well, make a steak that's, editable like they do over there. Your steaks are shit compared to theirs.
Right. I believe Tolga here, I have experience with some military trucks and Jeeps as well. But I was schooled by officers often because of giving the signal before turning to the left or right. Does that count as experience? So are you saying you got a truck driving experience in the military? Some companies accept that to a point, from what I understand. But
yeah, if you're driving one of those missile launchers, yeah, that's just like driving a rig.
Right. And there are companies out here that have programs for people coming out of the military. I know some companies even pay them a little extra.
Yeah, traditionally, your truck drivers, like my dad, are ex-military. They were all ex-military. They drove deuce and a halves in the military, and when they got out, they drove a truck.
You talking about the one over there in which one are you talking about, Martin Shelley?
That must be a New Loves. I never saw it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which one he's talking about. I go down there quite a bit. They said that we were at the mountains and signal. What's he saying? They said that we were at the mountains and no need to signal. Sorry. Huh. No need to signal, huh? Don't need to signal. Yeah, I guess just don't worry about it, huh? But yeah, Amarillo was another place that used to get pretty wild with lot lizards back in the day also. It used to get pretty bad over there. There were actually college girl lot lizards in Amarillo back 2008, 2009, 2010. And of course, they had that cop there that was trying to sell go fast all night long on the radio. I don't know if you remember him. Kind of like they do over in Memphis.
Yeah, there used to be a guy at the TA in Dexter, Texas. He had a lot of bootleg DVDs, man, and they were good too. I have to say, I bought many a DVD off of him.
I bought DVDs back in the day with the Movie Man all the time until I got ripped off in Salinas, California. I bought the movie Frozen
at that pilot.
And it was in another language.
They're still doing that. They said we put a stop to it, and I ran into that guy a few months ago. I said, "Man, I ain't buying shit from you. You sold me a $5 DVD, and there was nothing on it. It was right there in Salina. Yeah, I've been there many a time.
Yeah, it's been years ago. I bought the movie Frozen when the movie Frozen first came out, and I believe it was in Russian. It was in a language. It wasn't English and it wasn't Spanish. It wasn't anything I could understand. It was one of them other languages over there. And that's the last time I ever bought a movie off a Movie Man.
That must be a New Loves he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one he's talking about. You know, you got the Loves out there in Hutchinson. Let me think. You got the Loves right there on I-20, right there by Cedar Hill. You got another one over there in Fort Worth on 35.
Oh, I wanted to ask you. Do you remember? I think it was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I believe it was on 20, right outside of Dallas. It was a white Volvo, and it was a big black woman. Took all of her clothes off and climbed up on top of the truck.
Yeah, she was dancing.
The driver?
I think so. She was dancing.
Yeah, and I saw some of the footage of that, and I'm like, I'm wondering if that's the driver or a girlfriend. What's the deal here?
That was Houston, if I remember right.
Oh, it was Houston?
Yeah, I think that was Houston, and I believe she was the driver, and it turned out to be narcotics induced.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, we should have known it was narcotics induced, but yeah, that's what it turned out to be, narcotics induced. But yeah, I remember that. She took off all her clothes, got up there on top of her white truck, and I guess
that was a big woman too. That was a big. Oh, I'm surprised. I wonder how she got up there as big as she was.
Oh man, and it wasn't anything you'd want to see jumping around. I remember that. She had no shame in her game.
As one of my students said, that he was a young kid from Inkster, Detroit. He was a good student. He would look at it and say, "Man, that's a lot of ass."
Yeah, that's a lot of ass. And Kelly's talking about his first lot lizard encounter was in Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana's still a pretty bad area, but it used to be really bad.
Yeah,
it was so bad at one time that I refused to park there.
Yeah, I won't park there either. I'll go to Monee, the Petro in Monee. It's north of Kankakee. I was born and raised in that area. I got family that still lives there. The Loves out in Dwight. You know, you always find parking out there away from the city. I know it really well because I grew up and lived there for many years. I've been born and raised there, but I
Yes,
wouldn't park anywhere in Gary. Mm-mm.
still to this day, you still hear gunshots out there. I know years ago drivers used to get killed there or robbed a lot.
Mhm.
Gary, Indiana is just a really horrible place. It's not as bad now as it was, but it's still a pretty rough place to park. I wouldn't park in Gary unless I absolutely have to. I still try not to, you know. And don't make any wrong turns there. I've made wrong turns and actually driven through Gary. It looks like a war zone. I mean,
Mhm.
you literally think you went to a third world country. You know,
It's ghetto,
yeah,
beyond ghetto.
very much so. I don't know if you saw this, Shawn, but you were talking about that lady getting up on top of her truck and
Hmm.
doing the do. I saw on TikTok a while back that it was in West Memphis. There was some lady who had gotten in the highway in traffic, and she took her shirt off. She was bouncing around. You could hear the guys on the radio hollering. That's just been within the last few months.
This the only thing that I'm seeing that is starting to happen like the plague is a lot of these girls and people hocked up on fentanyl at the truck
Hmm.
stop. And I remember running into this driver walking a few feet in front of me, and there's this girl totally bent over, and he was like, "Are you okay, driver?" She thought that the girl was a driver. You okay, driver? You trying to stick your head up your ass? I'm like, man, the girl's hocked up on fentanyl because I don't
Yeah,
know how they stay upright. And all of a sudden, they'll lean a little bit and then they'll stand straight up. I'm like, I'm surprised they don't run these people off that are hocked up on fentanyl. That is becoming a serious issue.
yeah. I've seen videos out in California, San Francisco area of people like that. They get all zombied out and they just lean halfway over, look like they're about to fall over, and they'll show them on video like people are walking around them, and
Yeah,
they're just.
and some people look like they're trying to take a shit standing up. I'm like, what are they doing? Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, taking a shit standing up. The last time I was in Phoenix, there was a guy, a homeless guy. I'm assuming he was wearing like a dress. I don't know what you call it, like the Middle Eastern people wear. But he had walked up to the corner, and I see the soil getting wet. I'm sitting at the stoplight. The guy just spread his legs and pissed right there on the grass or the dirt right there at the four-way stop. Then just took off walking like nothing.
I remember my trainer. He was my TNT trainer. He was a single man, never married, don't have any kids. He owns his house. He owns everything that he's got, and he's still here at Prime. Uh, he pulled up. I woke up out of the bunk. He's in the fuel island, and he really had to piss. So he's standing on the running board as he's pumping his fuel, standing on the running board, pissing in the drain, and people walking by, and he's waving, and I'm uh, like, dude, what are you doing, man? They could see. He goes, I don't give a shit. I make too much money. Oh yeah, he did. He made a lot of money. And he had no money to spend it on because he didn't have a family or a wife or nothing. He goes, man, I make too much money. I don't care. I got to piss. And he pissed right in the drain, right there in the fuel island.
That's wild. That's wild. I actually seen that in Oklahoma, but it was the middle of the night. I was getting fuel probably about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I kept hearing the sound of like water running, hitting the ground. Like, what the hell? Wasn't raining. I walk around the truck, nothing over there. There's a truck in the fuel island next to me, a day cab. Well, I still hear it, but I don't see a driver. So I walk around there and make sure everything's all right. And he was standing right at the back of his cab, pissing in that drain that's down there in the fuel
Storm
island.
drain.
Yeah, that storm drain down there. I thought, oh my God, man. Oh my God. I thought I'd done seen it all. But every time out here, I think I've seen it all. I get proved wrong, and it doesn't take long.
Yeah.
You know, you'll run across some weird stuff out here on the road, man. But middle of the night, and the truck stop's right there. We're in the fuel island. We were at the Loves. He could have walked 2 fuel islands down and been inside the truck stop, but
Yeah, I don't care if I'm blocking the pump. I'm getting fuel anyway. I go in, take care of business, come right back out and pump my fuel. I ain't holding it for nobody.
that's kind of one of the things I do miss about training. Used to get the student. I'd tell him, hey, just go ahead and keep pumping fuel. I got to use the restroom right quick. I'll be right back. And they would take care of it. I'd run to use the restroom right quick and come back. Then we'd pull the truck forward, go get whatever you needed or whatever was going on. But I ain't pissing in the fuel island. I ain't doing that for nobody. I don't want to go to jail with that on my back. Can you imagine going to jail for that? What are you in here for? Pissing in the fuel island at the Love's down the street?
Yeah, my trainer didn't care. He goes, I made too much damn money. And he did, man. He banked a shitload of money. There were times he would complete a lease and he'd take a year or two off, and all he would do is hunt on his land or go fishing.
That's crazy.
He'd get low on money. He'd come back to Prime, drive for 3 years, and bank all that money again, do it all over again.
I don't think I've ever seen that. A portable shower on a catwalk. That would be pretty interesting. I know some of the super sleepers, I guess they call them, they got showers and stuff in some of them. But I've never seen it on the catwalk. But that's interesting, to say the least. You ever seen that, Shawn?
No. I seen guys got those hydraulic lifts, and they bring their bike with them, their Harley or whatever. I thought about it, and it's like, ooh, that's too expensive. Plus, they added weight. I'm like, no, I can't do it.
Yeah, I've seen guys with the one-use washers you can buy. I've seen guys with those where they hold like a shirt and a pair of pants. But I've never seen anybody actually take showers on their catwalk. I met a Heartland Express driver who had a mini bike that he had actually fit underneath his bunk. He parked next to me over in Colorado, and he was griping because he used to keep it up front, and somebody had told on him, and the company didn't want him having it. It's gas powered or whatever. So they told him he needed to get it off the truck. So he started hiding it. And I was like, where do you hide a mini bike? And he took me around and he opened his side box, and you could see it. He hid the mini bike underneath his bed, underneath his bunk.
It's got to be one of those old crank style, like you start a lawnmower. Is that what it was?
I didn't get that good of a look at it. And he took the handlebars and stuff off of it, so that the bunk would come down. And he had the bike in there, and everything just it was weird. I didn't get a good look at it to see what it was. I'm assuming it was the old crank style, though, probably.
Yeah. Kelly, that's common here, seeing people with bicycles on there. And I'm talking about, Harley Davidson. They'd have a hydraulic lift, and they'd lift it and put it right up on the catwalk. To me, that's too much added weight, and it's a pain in the ass, and it's expensive too.
Oh, I've seen guys out here with all kinds of stuff. A couple years ago, I was sitting at a truck stop doing some paperwork in the middle of the night. Somebody jumped out of their truck, and they had one of them things you stand on and just take off. What do they call?
Scooter or one of those hoverboards?
No, it was like a scooter, but you just lean forward or lean to the side or whatever. You just go.
Did it have the handle? Because I got one of the ones that, you just step on it and go. It's got a wheel on each side.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
about. If you do it right, you can just spin around.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I was sitting at a truck stop, and a driver hopped out of his truck. He set one of them things down on the ground, hopped on it, and took off to the truck stop.
That's a hoverboard.
I thought that's a hell of an idea. So I started getting online trying to see how much some things were, but they were.
I just can't wait till somebody's on one of those at top speed, and here comes a truck, and wham!
I keep waiting on somebody to get hit in a truck stop, looking down at their phone, walking out between trucks.
Yeah, I lost a colleague of mine. His wife got ran over and killed. Wendy is her name. Happened about a year ago. Guy's driving too fast in the truck stop, not paying attention. Boom, boom, boom. You just killed somebody.
Well, Flying J's actually going through a lawsuit right now because someone got hit, but they're trying to claim it's the lighting. But the guy was on his phone walking out between trucks early in the morning. Truck coming through the truck stop, ran over and killed him.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. You can't see shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that 49er truck stop in Kentucky is that way. There ain't no light on that lot.
Oh, the 49er I know is out in by San Fran.
Yeah,
that one's dark too.
Yeah, this is exit 49 on I-75. They also call that the 49 truck stop. It's exit 49 on I-75. It's got the little RV park right next to it. It's got the little restaurant or whatever you can order while you're up there at the cash register. They make hamburgers and shit like that in the back.
Is that London, Kentucky?
I think so. I think. I'm not 100% certain. I know it's exit 49. But that lot there at night doesn't have any light on it. And I've almost ran over people in that lot. So I mean, it's a pretty bad lot to turn around in.
Yeah, my Indian's 800 pounds. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to put a $34,000 bike on here. Not my Indian, no.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine trying to get it out and then put it back on, over and over.
Well, the hydraulic lift goes to the side and it drops it straight down. And when you're done, you just back it in and lift it right up. Boom. And you lock the wheels down to the mount itself.
Kelly said, I keep supplies in my truck to handle, shall we say, crappy situations.
I'm guilty. I pull off onto an on-ramp or an exit ramp and onto the shoulder, and I'll piss in the ditch, especially out west in the middle of nowhere. Just
I do the same thing.
If you're in the high desert in California, do not, and you're at night, do not get out of that truck. You want to do it from the running board, because my trainer did it once. He pissed on a sidewinder, and those things are aggressive. They will attack you. He jumped back into the truck.
Oh, you piss on me, I get a little. You piss on me, I get a little pissed off too.
Yeah, those sidewinders are aggressive. You want to piss in the ditch from the running board. Don't stand on the ground.
Yeah, it's you never know what's going to happen. I mean, I've done all kinds of things you have to do out in the middle of nowhere. That's part of trucking. And that's actually a trainer's job. Part of them is teaching, the lifestyle. There's a lifestyle that goes with what we do, and that's part of it, those crappy situations, as Kelly put it.
Me, it's just I got to piss all the time. I don't have to worry about taking a dump much. It's mostly taking a piss.
Yeah, I drink tea, which is a diuretic, so it causes.
Oh yeah, that'll make you piss.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all saw I drink Propel water. If I'm not drinking a coffee, I'm drinking Propel water.
That's actually how I got over COVID last year, was Propel water.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. I'm getting tested tomorrow at my doctor's appointment, and to see if I'm asymptomatic.
Right.
And if I am, they're going to give me a little card, and then I can travel internationally like I want to. Because I've been everywhere on this side of the planet. I've been all throughout South America, Central America. I've been all throughout Southeast Asia. I love Japan.
Right.
I love the Japanese ladies, but they don't date Godzilla. That's the problem.
Does Prime still make y'all have a passport?
If you can get one.
Yeah,
but
I know at one time.
You can get a passport, but I usually use mine to go up to Canada. But if you got a criminal record, even with a passport, they won't let you in.
Right.
But there is a way. They got a website you can go to where you can work at it. If you had something on your record, you can get it squashed so you can go into Canada. There's a way of working around it.
Right. Oh, Kelly, there's quite a few places out here won't let us use the restroom there, and that sucks. I think it's wrong.
I tell them this. I said, I could either use your restroom or I'll piss on your life. Either way, this is not up for debate. It's going to happen. I said, if you got a dog, say a St. Bernard, you can try to stop that 250-pound dog from shitting if you want to, but it ain't going to work.
That T-Bone lost his mind. We're nowhere near OTJB, and in a few minutes I'm going to shut it down. I can't do OTJB 14-hour lives. Other trucker James Best. Have you ever seen one of his lives?
Mm-mm. No, I seen you on Big Trucker. That's why I subbed to you.
Yeah, you should check out the other trucker James Best. When he does a live, it is absolutely entertaining. I mean, it's entertaining on a level like no other. But his lives last 14 hours, probably 10 to 14
Wow.
hours. I have driven all day long listening to him, literally my whole shift.
Jesus. I mean, I have a channel. I got videos. I kind of move around a bit. You know, I'll film the view out towards the roadway from the on my dashboard. There's a mount for my phone. I've done lives that way. Just all, I like to show people, okay, here's cabbage, here's this, here's that. Just so people get a look at different parts of the country.
Yeah, and I kind of this is the first live, but I kind of got these lives because so I could interview some of the new drivers that are coming to the industry, so they can talk about what they're facing today that may be different from what we faced. Also, what's interesting, what is bringing them into the industry? It may be different than what brought us into the industry. Get talking about some of that. Also, getting some of the older drivers on here to talk about how it used to be, reminisce.
They didn't have cell phones, the internet, and everything like that, or GPS. You better know where the fuck you're going back in the day, or there's no telling. And you learn as you go. You remember every detail wherever you go, so you know where you're going. Because back in the day, there was no such thing with GPS. You were lucky if you got one, a big atlas, and you had to go by it.
Hey, do you remember looking through the atlas, getting all your directions and writing them on the window with a dry erase marker each turn? Yeah. And then I used to take my finger and wipe it off when I made that turn, so I knew which one was my next turn, so you can get them mixed up. Yeah,
until you learned it.
Right.
After a while, you'll start learning. Oh, I remember this place.
Yeah, it's changed a lot over the years. I've welcomed the technology, but it has changed a lot over the years. And no, Nevada, I cannot do it. Number one, I'm drinking pure leaf tea. I'm not drinking alcohol. James drinks alcohol throughout his lives. It really gets good, man. So, man, my pure leaf tea is virgin. There's nothing extra in it. So I wouldn't make it 14 hours. There's no way.
I heard the best one is the green tea.
The green tea is pretty awesome. And green tea is really good for you.
It already looks like piss. I make that joke.
Yeah, it's gonna do its thing. T-Bone over here trying to kick it along. No, T-Bone, it's not gonna happen. Not likely make it to 22 change jobs.
Yeah, you don't want to change trucking companies. I know a lot of guys that have done that, and you get a bad reputation with that if you keep changing companies.
Yeah, and some companies won't mess with you if your work history looks bad. You've jumped and jumped and jumped, they won't mess with you. Because if they hire you and they put you through orientation, they pay for your hotel room, they pay for your travel there, they're already into it when they hire you.
Yeah.
So if a company sees that you jump a lot, they don't want to lose that money. So they won't mess with you after a while. Is also original, and I can give the guarantee. Oh yeah, he is an original. Yeah, he is for sure.
Being with one carrier, and we go coast to coast in Canada, and if you're with it around so much, and you learn the carriers, you really don't need a GPS. You just already know where to go.
That's right. Yeah, I still carry an atlas. I carry, GPSs go out. So I still carry an atlas myself. Via smoke signals. Oh, man, I ain't never gone that far back. You traveled by smoke signals there, Shawn?
No, only when I'm on the res. I'm half native.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never traveled by smoke signals. I usually veer away from smoke. So if I see smoke, I'm probably going the other direction. That's kind of like, Bob asked one time, what do you do if there's a fire? What steps do you take if there's a fire? My response is big ones, the other way. But anyway, we're going to get to wrapping this thing up. But first, Shawn, you mentioned you have a channel. You want to put that out there?
Just, do a search and type in Shawn Trucking with BS. I abbreviated my road name my dad gave me back in '76. His name was Big Sex, or Big Peterbilt, And I was talking about the lot lizards. Like, Dad, she's sexy, you know. So he called me Big Sexy. So I just said BS.
Well, y'all check out Shawn's channel, BS, big
Trucking
big
with BS. Shawn Trucking with BS.
Trucking with BS. But yeah, check him out. And everybody out there have a great night. I appreciate you coming over and checking things out and helping me get started.
You'll meet a lot of beautiful Filipinas on my channel because I go to their channels a lot.
Well,
there's not a whole lot of us doing them.
Yeah. Well, there ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Beautiful anything is good.
Oh, they are. Filipinas, they're all beautiful. Some of them look underage, but they'll amaze you. You know, they look 15 to 20 years younger than what they are. Like one girl I talked to, she looked like she was 13. I'm 30 years old. I'm like, shit. She showed me her ID. Sure enough, she was 30 years old. But hey, I appreciate you having me. I'll talk to y'all later.
Hey, you have a good night. I appreciate Trucking with T-Bone hopping on here and getting me kicked off. And I appreciate all y'all that hung around. Y'all take care, stay safe, stay out of trouble, and be kind to one another. Good night.